Hello and welcome back to Finger Guns. I'm your debonair co-host, Dave Baldwin, and here I am with
Tony B.
and
Jimmy.
And how are we doing tonight, fellas?
What the fuck is a devil? What did
Debonair.
you say? Debonair?
Yeah.
What the? Who the fuck are you trying to be?
Look,
007?
Hang on. Dave needs to use his journalism degree somewhere, so it's right here.
It's true.
It's true. It's just he had a word of the day calendar, and today's was debonair.
Debonair.
He just says that, and he's looking like fucking Magnum PI right now.
I love the shirt, man. I love
Hawaiian
the
shirt that's open, probably not even buttoned up.
It definitely isn't, because I was sweaty as shit today.
Fucking guy.
Wolfman.
Definition is effortlessly charming.
Effortlessly charming.
Sophisticated, charming, and suave. So yeah, it's
100% like you, man.
That's me.
It's you.
That's me.
If there was ever a word.
Yeah. But
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna let you have it, okay, Magnum?
Thank you.
Magnum.
I appreciate that. Just like I appreciate that you came along on the journey of TIFF with me.
Of course. Why?
Yes.
What the hell else would we be doing in September?
I don't know.
It's just a big kudos to you both for still just.
Yeah,
I know this year wasn't as crazy as it could have been.
This is true.
But still proud of you both for just
It still felt like a goddamn marathon. Like, holy shit. Like, we weren't averaging like 6 or 7 like we were last year.
Yeah.
It was only like 3 or 4, and I think 4 was the most we saw in a day. And like,
hey, that's
shit.
that's a light day compared to 2019.
Right? That is spring chicken.
That was like a Sunday after having a midnight screening kind of day. Only 4.
Only 4, and it starts at 8:30 in the morning.
If you want to get technical, Tony, technically we did 5, but one of them was a conversation.
Oh,
okay,
sure.
Okay,
conversation.
Yeah.
Yes,
it is an event. They do count. It is taking up part of your time.
It's
all right.
True.
So 5
in a day.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like this episode is a Bvlgari experience, as sponsored by Bvlgari.
God, I wish I would wear all the Bvlgari.
Right?
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, Bvlgari Incorporated.
They're the sponsor. They're the sponsor. I feel like the subtitle should be Dave and Tony are too old for this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been out of the game for 3 years. Like, this is like we were in the game in 2019.
Yeah,
two-ish, 3.
Yeah,
whatever. The last time we went in person was in 2019, and we fucking gave her that year.
Heck yeah, man.
And this year it was rough. But
yeah,
we were also going to screenings at 8:30 in the morning every fucking day.
Yeah, that's bad.
Seriously,
that's
what the fuck? Who the hell wants to get up at 8:30 in the morning? Man?
Even in 2019, we gave ourselves a break a couple times. It was like 9:30, and then like I think the one day that we did a midnight screening, or like because we didn't do many in 2019, but the one day we made sure like the Sunday was just like our first screening was at like 11:30 or something. you guys just went mornings every day.
That's it. Yeah.
You guys
I think our latest screening started at 9:45.
Okay, well that one's fine.
Yeah,
that's the latest.
That was the latest we went.
Did anyone have breakfast popcorn this year?
I didn't have popcorn once.
Oh shit!
Neither did I.
Did they?
I didn't have popcorn
did they bring back at the Scotiabank? Did they bring back the morning popcorn special?
I think it was there.
I saw it. It was
all right. Cool.
The apples were there. The bananas were there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, your morning it's like a small and an apple for like $10 or something
like that.
The critic special,
like
and then they had like the Cambros of coffee and water.
Yeah.
Just water everywhere, and Tony like secured me so I could sneak some some Coke into my water bottle.
Amazing.
Oh man, we did
machine.
some real like Black Ops
Some
shit
real-
for that one.
Some
Yeah.
real
Tony-
gangster.
Yeah.
Like I was doing it, and Tony was just standing behind me with his arms crossed,
Like back to back, just head on a swivel, just looking.
Don't look
looking.
suspicious at all.
Nah, not at all. I was like, yo, Dave, here, your windows right now. Go, 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 go.
I'm sure they looked over at you and went, fuck, whatever.
Don't care.
No,
Yeah.
they don't give a
But-
shit.
But I did it once, which I was proud of, and the escalator, as far as I know, didn't break.
Oh, good.
Which is
Yeah,
a
we
miracle
never
in
had to
itself.
run
a
up
whole
or down
TIFF
the
without
stairs.
having to walk
Yeah.
up or down. That's
It was magical.
pretty
That was
great.
magical. Yeah, and I went to A&W 4 times.
Hey,
At least
that
yeah, at least
A&W was
4
happy
times
for your
sure.
business.
I'm sure it was.
And I mean, hey, we recorded our first ever live on location episode in that A&W. So
Yeah.
this is true.
it's
This is
now
true.
it's now
Shout out-
hallowed ground.
Shout out to the John Street A&W.
A&Ws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Holiday Inn breakfast special. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that helped.
that was
Holiday
that
Inn
was.
breakfast. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You had the hotel there one day.
We got
Yeah.
free breakfast.
Nice.
The Sunday and Monday.
Continental
was-
or full or
It was full, man. It had like eggs,
Hey,
bacon.
dope.
You got cereal, fruit,
real questions, buffet or sit down?
sit down buffet.
Oh, sit down buffet. Okay.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
didn't eat there. We took it with us.
I actually ate there once.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. I just
Yeah.
took it with me, and I'm glad that theaters are dark, so people couldn't see me just shoveling
Wolfing.
scrambled eggs.
It was
in my
scrambled eggs in
mouth.
your
Yeah.
mouth. Yeah. Did they
Hot
have an
potato
omelet
tots
station?
in my mouth. Yeah. No omelet station. It was scrambled
Throw it
eggs
out.
in a thing.
Yeah, of course it was scrambled eggs.
French
Yeah.
toast. The French toast day was pretty good because the next day was pancakes, and
Ooh.
it doesn't like just eating.
It's not a-
eating a
yeah.
pancake is not the same as
Yeah.
eating French toast.
No,
No.
for sure.
No, it was a little dry. It was a
Pancake.
little dry.
I mean, a pancake is a vehicle for syrup at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was gonna be too messy.
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
were you gonna in the box, styrofoam box? You're trying to like, oh, your fingers
Dip
are
it.
sticky. Yeah.
You're like fucking rolling that pancake up
Yeah.
and just like dipping
A
away.
little pancake burrito.
Like it was bad. It was bad enough that I was grabbing scrambled eggs by the handful.
Oh, okay.
Like a
Great.
fucking heathen.
Yeah, I love it. I
It was
love
it was delicious and it came in clutch.
yeah,
It
for
definitely
sure.
came in clutch. Yeah. And we finally got the Blaze Pizza across from Scotiabank is never open.
It's never
we made it-
open.
You know what, James? It was open in the middle of the afternoon and we had a
Fuck.
block of time and we went.
Yeah, God, was it
And it
was
was,
it worth the
fucking
wait?
delicious. Yes.
It was lovely.
I've
It
had
was.
Blaze Pizza once or twice, I think, and once at that location on a random day that it was open. But I'm so happy you finally got in there because, like,
Yeah.
fuck, that place is never open.
It's never
No,
I don't
it's
open.
never
understand what their
open.
hours are. Is it just like whenever they feel like it?
I think it might be open until like 8 or 9 type thing.
Oh,
But I don't
Yeah.
know when it opens during the day, like at like 2:30. Like
Yeah.
who knows? It was bumping when we went in there, and like we had to get them to clean the table for us, which thank you to that gentleman who was annoyed with me asking, but like I asked him for a cloth and would have done it myself.
yeah.
Yeah, Dave went up to the guy and said, "Can I just wipe it?" And he got all offended. I think that's why he was offended because
You,
Dave
you
was
were
just
going to
being
do
a
his
jerk
job
about it.
for him.
yeah,
I wasn't
he's
being a
just-
jerk. I just didn't want him. He was busy. Obviously, they're busy enough that they're not cleaning the fucking tables. I'll clean the damn table. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Can I also just say a pizza place that closes at 8 or 9 has no business being a pizza place.
This is
It's
true.
true.
There's a
It's
place
true.
near me that is like Monday to Thursday. I think they close at 8. And on Fridays and Saturdays they close at 9. I'm like, do you not understand how much business you're just like leaving on the table? Like I
Pizza is the
sometimes
most
want
popular-
pizza for dinner, but like, man, I usually want pizza after 8 o'clock in the evening. Like,
Pizza is the most popular pizza in Canada for a reason. It's because
yeah, they're open
They're the
fucking
only-
late.
they're the only one that stays open.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Shout out to Pizza. Wow, I love that you guys didn't even agree. You just
No. I'm just gonna let you have that one and leave it out there, but I don't.
I love pizza.
Do you really?
But, like it's silent. It's a silent love, and it's
Mm.
only one pizza that we get, and it's the 4 cheese, extra cheese, no meat, no nothing, just literally sauce and cheese, and that's it. And it has to be like right out of the oven, so it like burns, so like the cheese like just
it's real
wrecks
melty.
the roof of your mouth. Yeah,
Tony, the only way to eat pizza is immediately after it's out of the oven or immediately after it's been heated up once.
You shove it directly into your face.
Yeah, like directly. Like you can't wait longer. It has like a 10-minute window.
Yeah.
And it like stale as it's going into your mouth.
Yeah.
Like it's just
it's
like
already
as soon as the air gets onto it. Yeah.
Like there's a reason they have God knows how many dips.
Yeah,
there's a reason.
You have to, much like pancakes are a vehicle for syrup, pizza slices are a vehicle for dip.
Yeah,
this is true.
This is true.
Fuck. Yeah.
So we got way off topic there.
Did we? Did we really? We were talking about all the food we ate.
Exactly. We're on topic. We also have very strong opinions about pizza.
Yeah. Shout out to that cheeseburger that we had. That I think it was Saturday that we had that. Burgers and Fries Forever.
Oh yeah, that place is dope. Yeah. That place is real great. Dope. We had that once too, I think, Dave.
Yeah, we had it once too after
Lightbox something or other. The fuck we were
one of our random screenings that Tony couldn't be bothered to go to.
Correct. Yeah. Tony doesn't make these drives unless they're for a good reason anymore.
Exactly, man. You gotta make it worth it.
Also,
seeing David Cronenberg was worth it.
Yeah, that's true. Except for that Q&A, because that was junk. The fact that like they came and introduced the film in our screening, which was the original screening, was the original ticket buying window, and then they had the interview in the other fucking cinema.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Fuck you. Like,
that. Is that what you guys are getting mad at me about? The fucking Crimes of the Future premiere that was on my wife's birthday? Give me a break.
Hey, man.
David Cronenberg doesn't wait for anybody. You could have brought her. It could have been her birthday present.
You guys are a bunch of jerks.
I will also like to shout out for food. Big shout outs to actually getting a Pizza Nova slice on Festival Street.
Oh, yeah.
Because that thing is always fucking sold out. And we nailed one. And it was glorious.
Yeah, and it was one that didn't have God knows what toppings on it.
Yeah.
Because every time I went
vegetarian monstrosity that they put out.
Every time I went by afterwards, I was like, "Who wants?" Just because it's free doesn't mean you want to eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't give me your junk reject pizzas.
Oh man.
We got strong opinions. We got strong opinions about pizza, but for this TIFF episode.
We should just have a pizza related episode.
Yeah. We're going to start a spin-off show where we just eat pizza and rate it.
I'm good with that.
I'm down. There's actually a pizza competition show on Disney Plus now.
That's amazing.
That I need to watch.
Nice. You'll have to review that one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Add it into the mix. It's a review. Yeah. We'll count it.
So if you remember last time, we spoke right after we saw the Weird Al film. So that would have been Tony and I would have been 5 deep at that point.
Correct.
And James was that one. And
then
he was going to see Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And
Tony and I, so if you want the minor recap, Dave watched, I don't know why I'm talking in the third person.
Because you are the third person.
Yeah. I started up with Holy Spider. And then and Tony started up with Triangle of Sadness.
Right.
And then we both met up and we watched Broker and Living. And then
day one?
This was day one.
Day one. Right. Yeah.
And then the next day we watched Project Wolf Hunting.
Yes.
Which is still I think I still have blood behind my ears from that one.
Oh yeah.
Apparently the Midnight Madness screening was bananas and there was a fight. And apparently all the fans of the Korean actors were going ballistic.
Amazing.
And then we saw the Weird Al film, Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Yes.
And you were there, James.
Sure was.
And that is where we
that's where we left off.
Correct.
Where we left off.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So I guess we can just keep going chronologically. That seems to make the most sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll share any tidbits and anecdotes as we go along the way. So yeah, after Weird, after grabbing a quick slice on Festival Street and recording our live little episode in the A&W, what was next for you two? I dropped you off at the Scotiabank and you were seeing
A Man of Reason. Is that what it's called, Tony?
That is the one.
A Man of Reason.
A Man of Reason. So it's a Korean film and it's directed by,
which, of course,
it's obviously we got to keep our Korea.
Got to keep going on the Korean streak. Yeah.
It's directed by Jun Woo Sun. It's his directorial debut.
Cool.
And it's just, I wasn't a big fan of it. And it was kind of like a crime drama. And they kept playing Somebody I Used to Know by Goche.
Yeah.
Which that was the recurring motif, which
that song was the recurring
It was like
motif?
the reoccurring, like literally like every other scene just had this song playing, and it was like supposed to show it was like symbolism motif kind of thing.
That was the motif, was Goche.
Yeah.
Why?
It was no idea. And it was in English. It wasn't in another language. Like they were actually playing like the song.
The song was in English. Yeah.
But it was so out of place, and
it just didn't fit with anything that was going on. Okay.
Yeah. Me and Dave weren't fans of it. It actually reminded me of another Korean film that we saw at Fantasia, The Killer.
Yeah, it did feel very much like The Killer.
Yeah, because someone gets kidnapped, he has to go and find them, get them back, kind of thing. But like,
doesn't it start with like him killing everybody?
Yeah, and then he goes to he basically kills his boss.
Yeah, he kills his boss. He
wants out. He wants out of this this gang, and he wants to live the straight life. So he basically kills his whole gang, kills the boss, goes to prison, and then assumes that he's going to get off scot-free, and because he's killed everybody, he can just go back to the simple life. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
And then he's in a car out in the desert, and just I wasn't a fan of it at all.
It was the same thing that we've always seen. Your standard like Taken story. Action scenes were good. Car chases, there were some pretty fucking gnarly car crashes. Some pretty gnarly death scenes. But outside of the action, which is like your what you would come to expect from a South Korean action movie, outside of that, there was no real point of seeing that.
All right, so just nothing new, nothing
new. They didn't bring anything new to the table.
It wasn't terrible. It just didn't light the world on fire. So it just ended up being kind of just like, why?
You had some moments that you could enjoy, but for the most part, it was pretty disappointing, because we were kind of hoping for something better,
for something good,
Yeah. And then after we watched that, we for lack of a better word, we fucked around for a little bit. And we tried to see the Taylor Swift line, which was insane. And we saw everybody waiting for Taylor, and it was bonkers. And then we'll get you can tell your part. We'll just tell the smaller part.
You tell your little bit before you got to okay.
Yeah, and then we saw that seemed insane, and I'm glad we didn't have to go through that. And I guess Tony's taking his shirt off. It's about time he takes his shirt off.
It's getting a little hot up in here in the finger gun studio.
In the studio. And after that, we had the opportunity to go to the red carpet for Butcher's Crossing.
Nice.
Starring Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
And we got to sit in the RBC Avion booth.
Cool.
Shout out to RBC for hosting us. And we had to sit at the top, because there's two different sections. There's there's seats at the front where you can like sit and you're close at the red carpet level.
At the red carpet level where you can get the selfies. And then there's kind of like a stand up top, a platform. And like there's great views and stuff. Like it looks amazing up there. Like you don't have anyone in front of you really. But you're not at selfie level.
Exactly. So like, what are you going to get? You can have a few photos. You're in a good spot to get some good photos, but you got to zoom in to get them, and you can't really interact with the stars at all. You're just kind of up there shouting obscenities.
Yes. Yeah. And so I spoke to one of the reps and workers, representatives,
reps. They were representative.
Yes, they were. She was quite lovely, and we got the mad hookup, and we got down. Nice. We managed to get downstairs, and then we
weaseled our way downstairs.
Nice. We weaseled our way downstairs. There were two wonderful Eastern European people who were talking to us about film, and I was just laser sighted on getting down there.
Of course,
and we just kind of left.
Nice.
And
they kind of called them out too, right? Because like you could tell when he was talking to these guys that he had one eye on them, but one eye on the fucking doorway where the girl was going to come.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when the girl came, like Dave literally laser focused, mid conversation, he just stops and he's like, Tony, let's go.
Yep.
And
she didn't even come up the stairs.
She just nodded
halfway up the stairs and nodded at me.
Amazing.
And then we were in the second row, behind the selfie area.
Yeah.
But there was a spot, like a wee little spot.
Yeah.
And so I made my way up there.
Nice.
And I went on an angle. And then Tony made his way up there.
Nice.
We made friends with a lovely an older people.
Yeah.
They were staying in there. We made some nice friends with them. They were able to scooch over just like a smidge over.
Amazing.
And I was able to come up and have a good time.
Yeah, they appreciated that we weren't pushing them out of the way. That we were just kind of like, this is our. You have your section. We're just going to take up this little section that nobody's standing in.
Yeah, and we saw some people, and then they kept sitting down periodically because they didn't want to keep standing. And some people took their spot, and me and Dave were sure to be like, "You weren't there. Please move."
Right.
Yeah. And then it was good times. That's what you do when you're in the line. You look after each other,
of course.
Right? You don't screw everybody over. Everybody gets
it's a family.
It's a family. It's a community. It's a community.
It's a community.
You're all there for one goal, to get a picture with a celebrity, and you don't have to be a dick about it. Because I hate those fucking people when you're there and you're getting elbowed because they're putting their like 6-foot fucking cutout of Will Smith in your fucking face just or buddy
the fucking,
can sign it.
The autograph hounds that come in with the binder of shit and they're just like flipping and signing.
Literally.
Fuck those guys.
Or the clipboard and just like it's just like the most random photo you can even think of where you're just like.
And they're literally just coming in and out. Like if the celebrity goes down, they're out and then they're back into the fucking line. They're like zigzagging and shit, just wreaking fucking havoc, man.
Like I respect the hustle, but it's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And I'm glad that TIFF has done what they've done to kind of make it more fan friendly.
Yeah. I would like the worst spot for it will always seem to be the Ryerson anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Ryerson was a cesspool, especially at that fucking stage door at midnight, man.
Yeah.
And then they basically like blocked off the one section at the Ryerson anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, and then we saw Mr. Cage. He waved at us.
Excellent.
And then he didn't bother stopping, which
that's unfortunate.
Really chaps my ass, but like
after all the work
I respect the man.
After all the work you put in,
it's not a Ryan Gosling situation.
Sure.
So.
We only waited 2 hours for this. It wasn't like a 6-hour fiesta for Mr. Gosling.
Yeah,
and we got nothing, and other people got it. Nobody really got it from Nicolas Cage. Yeah. And then we saw Delroy Lindo.
Cool.
I don't know why he was there because I don't think he had any involvement in the film.
He might have had producing. Maybe he was one of the producers. Maybe he was married to one of the producers.
That makes more sense,
right?
Julia Stiles was there.
Cool. Julia Stiles was fucking taking pictures and autographs. I'm like, she's like, this isn't even my movie.
Hey, whatever. Take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Who else was there?
Buddy from Sound of Metal was there.
Yes, Paul Raci from Sound of Metal was there.
Yeah.
Fred Heckinger, I think that's what his name is.
Sure.
That was the kid, right?
The kid, yeah.
Cool.
He's in all the Fear Street movies, and he's the villain in Woman in the Window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody went ballistic for him.
Very cool.
That's who he went. That's who they went ballistic for. We were all like trying to figure out who the hell is this kid. We don't know who the hell. Yeah, exactly.
And Rachel Keller was also there.
Oh,
cool. Yeah. Apparently for all of the 20 minutes that she was in the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say
even less really than that.
She's not really in the film, so I don't know why she showed up.
She had a lot of spare time.
Good on her. But yeah, it was a pleasant experience, and it was an enjoyable little evening soiree.
Yes.
And we got free Pure Leaf.
Hey.
Yeah, we did.
Man, I love the free Pure Leaf.
Right. Yo, what the fuck? They didn't have any Pure Leaf on Festival Street, and I was pretty hurt. I was pretty hurt about that because like every TIFF, we always hit the freaking Pure Leaf station like 5 or 6 times.
That and the Bubbly, man.
Yeah, man. Bubbly was fucking not there either. That was clutch in 2019.
Gypped on
Nespresso was there though, Tony.
That's
Nespresso.
We never got Nespresso. We never wanted to stay in line.
Well, that was because the line was always fucking bad shit.
We stood in line for fucking wine and gin.
Yeah,
that's true. We did do that.
You got the gin.
That was worth it.
Yeah, we got the gin. We got the gin on the Sunday. It was
okay. We'll get to that. We're gonna get to that one day at a time. One day at a time.
Worth it. But yeah, it was a pleasant evening.
Yeah,
and Yeah, it's not like it's not the Ryan Gosling incident that Tony won't ever forgive me for.
Yeah, buddy. Nope, not happening. Not in your life.
Yeah,
and I'm glad because I almost got into that situation with fucking Harry Styles, and I had enough sense to be like, you know what? Nope, we're not doing it.
I can't believe you were going to try Harry Styles. Jesus,
if it was fucking Roy Thompson Hall and we could get into the RBC, like I would have done it. I would have done it for my dear friend, even though she's still in fucking jail for that stupid gray man suggestion. I would have done it for her. But like it's Princess of Wales, and like Princess of Wales is where we ran into the fucking trouble with Ryan Gosling. Not happening. Not on your life. No. I don't care who you are. I'm not fucking doing it ever again.
I get it.
What if it's the Gold Man or Keanu?
No, we've met
Nick Cage.
Buddy, how many times are we going to see fucking Nick Cage at TIFF? I feel like
every single time.
Not enough.
Seriously.
Every single time.
God damn it.
Not enough. Not enough.
Well, look, I'm very happy that you both had a very pleasant evening trying to get a photo with Mr. Cage. My experience was not pleasant.
Yes, I have waited weeks to hear this. Please, please regale us.
For all of you at home, I've purposefully withheld as much information as I can from Dave and Tony. They've asked, they wanted to know, and I have withheld as much as I possibly can because I wanted to tell it here first and get their actual first reactions to what I went through trying to get into Taylor Swift. So I dropped you off at the Scotiabank for your Korean film, and I had time to kill. We, on the way out, just for everyone, like we asked to try to figure out a little insider information of just like, hey, like when are you anticipating putting this line together for Taylor Swift at the Lightbox? Because I didn't want to be late, but I also like didn't want to just like sit in the Lightbox all day. Like I wanted to do something. So anyway, I wandered around the city for a little bit after I dropped you off just because I didn't have anything to do. I kind of walked up and down Festival Street for a bit. The lines for things were a little bit too long. I was like, oh, maybe I'll go for the gin thing. But I was like, I have like an hour and a bit, and I don't want to risk it of getting to the front and then like I got to bail. And I just spent all this time standing in line when all I'm going to do today is stand in line. So I ended up just like sitting down on a park bench near the Nespresso car installation thing. And I made friends with someone who sat down beside me. We had a nice conversation about his crazy ass Friday nights that he goes and gets blitzed and smokes a whole bunch of weed, and he seemed like a really interesting guy.
His mother must be proud of him.
I doubt his mother's still alive.
Okay.
He was just an older gentleman. I think he was in his like 40s or so, but I don't know. Maybe she is, but I don't know. He didn't seem concerned, but he seemed to have a very interesting.
Why didn't you go to the Kim Crawford wine and then go upstairs and do the TikTok dance?
I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted a friend.
Sorry.
It's fine. I had a nice time sitting, and I was like, you know what? I get to sit, and I'm not going to be able to sit for a while, so I might as well just rest. Okay. And I just like zoned out for a bit. I was scrolling through Instagram and just kind of like threw on some music and just kind of sat there. And then I'm like, okay, it was like 4:25. Said bye to my friend.
Was it Taylor Swift music?
Naturally. Okay. What else would I be listening to? I have to prepare. Okay. Anyway, so 4:25, I said bye to my newfound friend and said, I got to go stand in line. I got back to the Lightbox at like 4:30, and I walked up to the front, and because it was getting insane. And then by about 4:30, a crowd had started forming outside of the Lightbox. The rush line was still there, and a crowd had started forming in front of the Lightbox. And there was also a crowd off to the side, like in front of the restaurant. And I was like, I don't understand. So I walked up to one of the volunteers, and I was like, and she had like the headset, the clipboard, the whole deal. So I was like, okay, you probably have a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. I'm like, so I have a ticket for Taylor Swift. What is there a line? What do I do? And she's like, oh, well, we don't have the official line hasn't started, but these folks here, the folks in front of the restaurant, have started lining up already. So it's kind of like the unofficial line, but we'll bring you in at 5 when we open up the official line. And I was like, okay, fine. There's already a line. Whatever. Let's go. I was maybe 60, 65 people back in this line.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty good. I felt pretty good about that. So I was standing
That's more
there.
people than I thought. Jesus.
Yeah. And this was 4:30 for something that starts at 7.
Wow.
There was already at least 65 people in front of me. So
Jesus.
I had a few people come up to me and they're like, is this the line for Taylor Swift? I was like, well, if you're a ticket holder, and yes, but it's the unofficial line. There is no official line inside yet. They haven't started it. It starts at 5. So it was very much like the information booth at the end of the line.
Nice.
And then I met my good friend.
Thank you for your service.
Of course.
It's because of you that things like this happen.
Someone's got to, again, we were just speaking about it. We're a community. We're all trying to get to the same spot. Why are you holding back information? Just share it. We're all going to the same spot.
Sharing is caring.
I will get to why that's important in a little bit. But anyway.
You're going to Tarantino
it? No, more like a Chekhoving it. Just remember that I was really nice to people in line.
Okay.
Chekhov's generosity
in line. So anyway, I was standing there, and my good friend from that I've known since from work, Shaw. He's also a critic, and he was doing TIFF for the first time this year, and he finished the screening and had some time in between, so he came out and hung out with me in line. Got to catch up with him for a bit, and I felt a little bad because he came out at about, let's say, 10 to 5. And all of a sudden at 5, things got very chaotic for the unofficial line, and it started moving all of a sudden and then stopping and moving and stopping. And I was just like, I gotta go, bye. And just like follow the crowd. And he was like, oh, okay, bye. I was like, I apologized to him afterwards. I'm like, I didn't know what was happening, and it was insane. So sorry, but I had to follow it anyway.
It's TIFF. There's no apologies.
So TIFF attempted to bring people in groups from the unofficial line, I guess, to prevent chaos inside. They had started the line for this thing in the lower level in the lobby by the ticket counter. So when I got up to the front, it was stop sort of thing and move back a bit and we'll get you in. And then people just started like going for it anyway. So I was like, fuck this. And just like followed the rest of the people
you
in.
Bum rushed it.
Fucking A. I wasn't going to get stuck back there in the fucking line. I was 65 people from the front. I'm not losing my spot. I had to save 4 goddamn seats. So
I get it.
I needed to get in there. Anyway, so I got in there, and as I'm getting up to the entrance to the queue in the lower level lobby, so this is now queue 2 that I'm going into. Let's keep track of the amount of queues I'm in. As I'm getting there, they're like, oh, please have your bags open for bag check. And at this moment, I realized, holy shit, I have professional audio recording equipment in my bag.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck.
So
I
was
forgot
like,
about that.
Holy shit. So I also, because I'm smart, and because my wife is smart, and she said, you should probably bring some sweaters. I brought 4 sweaters with me. So while walking up, because it was taking a bit for everyone to check the bag and check the bag and check the bag, while we kept moving forward, I was basically like pulling sweaters up and pushing my audio equipment down so that it was all sweaters when they looked in the bag and no audio equipment. I did the best I could. There was definitely like cords and wires hanging out, but I got up to the front and I opened my bag and all they saw was sweaters, and they went, okay. And I was like, okay, I definitely could have had weapons in here and you did nothing about it.
The bag checks were very questionable.
Very questionable.
Some were more invasive than others.
I will get back to that in another moment. But anyway, right. So now I've gone through 1 queue unofficially, 1 queue officially now that I'm in line, and 1 bag check. And from here on out, I am in a corral and I cannot leave it. I am, because of the weird things that happened with the line, instead of being 65 people back, I estimated it was probably 100 people back because of people, doing sneaky
shenanigans.
Shit. Yeah. Which, okay, fine. But now I had my spot in line. The TIFF representative came around and checked literally everybody's ticket that was in that line immediately. Like, and you had to leave if you did not have a ticket.
Did people leave?
A couple. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because they were like hanging out with their friends and they're like, no, out. Like, so it was a little, and I know we were trying to hook up and maybe connect for a little bit because you guys had a little bit of time, and I'm just like, it's fucking chaotic. There was no way I was going to even be able to talk to you without them being like, who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of this line, sort of thing. So we were all like, again, sharing information as we know it. They were like, is this the official line for like, are we in the right spot? What is happening? When is it? Like, we're like, we know as much as you. You got a ticket. You're in the right spot. Like, this is how far back you are. Stood there for a while until about 6:30. And then they started. So I got in there at 5. So about an hour and a half of standing in that line. Then they started bringing us up in groups to what will then be queue number 3. So they brought us up, like they brought people up on stages. So the first, 75-ish people walked through, and I ended up close to the front of the next queue. And I could see them going around the corner. So in this moment, I have set myself up. I have sweaters over my arm, ready to go. I got 3 of them set. They are locked. I'm holding on to them. I have my ticket in my left hand as well, because I don't want to lose it. And I need it on me because they keep checking tickets. So I was like, all right, I don't want to have to dig and fish this out. I have my backpack. It's ready to go. There's one sweater left, and it's like hiding all of the professional audio shit. And I'm ready to go. So
why did they think you would not have the ticket? At this point, you already got rid of the riffraff. Why would you think that you suddenly didn't have a ticket?
Well, because, so remember, like, if you think about the light box and the way that it's set up, right? The lower lobby is there, but you have to mingle with the public as you go up. There's no way to stop people from cutting in the line at this point. Okay, so in this queue,
and you have
for
those,
sure.
those dickheads with the badges being like, I have a badge. And they literally just think they own the place.
Yeah. So
that's what you do when you have a badge, Tone.
100%. You confidence. You just walk in. So I knew that we're going to have to check again when we got upstairs, because there's no way to prevent people coming in and out of this queue, because the light box is insane. Anyway, so we go up the escalator. We start down the sort of roped off path on the ramp that leads up to the theaters. And as we're doing that, 2 security guards start coming down and doing bag checks. The line is moving at a walking pace, and now they are like, bag check. So I'm like, I have 3 fucking sweaters over my arm, my ticket, and my bag is on my back that I now have to get my bag off, open it up for them to see. So what I did, or at least what my subconscious did, was it moved my ticket to my pocket, which was the smart thing to do so that I do not lose it. I got my bag off. I had my sweaters crutched into my arm. I opened my bag. As I'm like crab walking up this ramp, and they like briefly look inside it, and she does like 2 pats and says, you're good. So I'm like, the fuck? Why did I just do this? I got my bag checked downstairs. Anyway, my subconscious moved that ticket. I didn't. I could not find my ticket when I got to the top of that ramp, and they were looking for my ticket. So now I'm panicking that somehow in the chaos of trying to like do this last bag check, I dropped my ticket. I don't see it anywhere on the floor. I'm pulling the sweaters apart. I'm looking in every single pocket that I have. I'm off to the side. I'm freaking the fuck out. And the TIFF guy's like, what is going on? He's like, I can't find my ticket. I had my ticket and now it's missing. And he's like, okay. I'm just going to take a step back and let you finish your little public freak out.
Finish your little very, very
I'm like searching everything that I can find. And then I realized I got stuck to my phone inside my pocket. And I breathed a huge sigh of relief when I pulled it out. And I was like, holy shit, I found it. But now, of course, because I was pulled outside of the line to try to find this ticket, a whole bunch of people have gone in front of me. Homie, don't let that play. So I weaseled my way underneath the rope, and I just like, excuse me. And I remembered, because I was helping people and talking to people in line, who I was standing in front of and behind. So I found the girl that I was standing in front of and this Asian dude that was behind her. And I was like, perfect, found it. And I planted myself in front of there. And I'm like, holy shit, I found my ticket. She's like, I saw you go down and you were searching. Like, I didn't know are you okay? Like, what happened? I'm like, I explained the whole story to her. She's like, holy shit, man, I would be losing my mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm sweating. Like, do you see? She's like, it's all good. You're here. You're good. You made it. She's like, are you a big Taylor Swift fan? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, but also like my wife and my 2 sisters-in-law are coming as well. Like, that's why I have all these fucking sweaters. And she's like, oh, okay. So like you're the seat holder. I'm like, yeah. To get into the other side of this, the entire time that I've been lining up, I've been messaging with my wife, who was coming down with your 2 wives. And the consensus as we got closer and closer to 7 o'clock was they were not going to make it. But there was hope. There was always hope, a glimmer of hope. Rebellions are built on hope.
We had hope. We had hope. We were praying.
Why, my God.
We were hoping, like
wishing,
praying to those TIFF gods.
Just come on. Like this was the hardest fucking ticket I've ever worked to get. And I've never worked this hard to get seats in my life. And I really wanted them to show up. So I was like still hopeful. Anyway, again, it was like 100 people back from the front. They let a whole bunch of people in and there was chaos and commotion in line. But I started looking at the demographics of people around me at that time. And there was definitely some people my age who were Swifties. Most people actually were probably around my age. But there was definitely a cohort of much younger fans. Much younger fans. One of whom had a bouquet of flowers. And I'm like, you really? Okay, sure, whatever.
That's what they do, man.
Let's roll with it. But like, also just remember what I said about demographics. So we get inside the theater. I hold 4 seats immediately. Got them. No problem. We were like halfway up Cinema 1, which is pretty good seats. Perfect viewing. I was towards the center even because they made me. I tried to sit on the aisle just to make it easier for them as they came in. They could just go, what did it? And like not interrupt people. But they were like, no, you got to move. And I was like, okay, fine. That's fine. I was still able to hold my seats. They never complained about me holding the seats. 7. So I didn't get in the theater till 7. This thing was supposed to start at 7. We just started filing in at 7 and it was like chaotic in there. They had the first 2 rows blocked off for VIPs or whatever. And then I was somewhere back in the middle and I had 4 seats and I just kind of sat there just watching people try to figure out where they were going to sit. And they were getting more and more upset that they had to sit further and further back. And I'm like, still going to be in the same, like, it's not the end of the world. You made it. You're here. Like, you're good.
And they couldn't sit in the front 2 anyway. What the fuck's the point? That's basically you can't sit up there. All right.
Right. So as it got like, I think it was like 7:15 and I was just like, Emily, where are you guys? And like, we're still stuck on Lakeshore. I'm like, well, that's it. I don't want to be a dick and hold 4 seats and then no one sits there. Like, I'm just going to move them. And then a few people moved in and a few other people moved closer and like, whatever. Everyone just seemed to be a little bit happier that some seats opened up until they decided to reduce the amount of reserved seats in the front 2 rows. And then pandemonium ensued as everyone bum rushed the front 2 rows. Literally, they were like taking off the things and these teenagers were running to the front to try to get one of those 2 front row seats. And I was just like, this is a lot. What is happening? Like, just chill. Everybody chill. It's okay. Anyway, so then everyone played musical seats for a bit, and then the show started, and it was in 35 millimeter, and she shot this on film, 35 millimeter in a, I don't know the aspect ratio, but kind of like a 4:3, basically.
4:3.
Yeah. So
we're talking about her short film, right?
Her short film, yes.
Okay.
So shot it in 4:3, and of course, in typical good old TIFF fashion, they blocked it perfectly. Brought the screen in, beautifully presented.
Fucking chef's kiss.
Chef's
bravo.
Kiss. Chef's
Bravo.
kiss.
Perfect masking. Yes. I love it.
It's brilliant.
No notes.
No notes. And Cameron,
but you should be taking notes in the Plex.
Yes, 100%. Cameron, before the show started, did also.
You're on a first name basis with Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bailey and
friend
James.
of the podcast, Cameron Bailey. Before the show started, he was like, and like, because he knew the demographics were a lot younger, he was like, I really hope that this, is like a good first introduction to like what we do here at TIFF. And like, I want to inspire new generations of film lovers and makers and all of that. It was very nice and inspiring. Taylor Swift did a little intro. Sadie Sink was there as well.
Nice.
Which was very cool. She didn't really say anything. She literally just stood in Taylor's shadow and just was like, hey, what up? And then she sat.
She knew nobody came for her.
Correct. She also sat in the front row with like, she was literally like here. There was like one person sitting beside her, and then it was like a regular fan. So it was like, wow, that's ballsy, but okay, cool. No one bothered her.
They probably don't even know who she is.
No, I guess not big Stranger Things fans.
Let's be real. I don't think the Swiftie, that demo of Swiftie doesn't cross over.
Yeah. So anyway, so the 35 millimeter print started, which looked very, very good. And immediately I noticed every single young teen Swiftie busted out their phone and literally recorded the entire 35 millimeters. And it's like, but why? It's the same thing. You watched it on YouTube. It's the same fucking, all that is they scanned the film negative and there it goes. Like, they shot it on film. It's not like they shot it digitally and on film. It was all on film. So it doesn't look any different. This is a pristine 35 millimeter print. It looks perfect. Like, why are we sitting here recording the entire fucking whatever? It was a short that I've seen already. I didn't care. But
I'd still be annoyed though.
There's a lot of screens. After that, she came on. She did a 45-minute Q&A.
Nice.
With Cameron asking all the questions. There was no fan questions allowed.
He doesn't fuck around anymore.
He does not. They did take some fan questions from Twitter like beforehand. They collected a few.
Okay, so they could weed it out.
Yes. They could pick out the good ones.
Which they should be doing the whole time anyway.
Yeah. We've had some interesting audience fan questions.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a film head that Taylor Swift is. She's a huge film nerd. That's I want to find her letterboxed because I'm sure she has one because she's like a weird 70s film lover too. She's like, she was referencing like, oh yeah, I'm really big into like Kramer versus Kramer and like Harold and Maude and like she's just name dropping all of these like really solid 70s films. She's like, I was obsessed with them and that's what like inspired these shots and like every album that she's done has been based on an obsession with a song or a movie that she was watching at the time. She's a huge Wolf of Wall Street fan. Like it's one of her favorite movies of all time, which is hilarious to me. But anyway, so like I learned a few things and it was interesting getting to know her creative process a little bit and like what she goes through. And then right at the end, the whole conversation's on YouTube. You guys can all watch it. It's 45 minutes long. It's pretty nuts. But I mean, you learn a lot. So, but right towards the end, Cameron was like, oh, I think that's about all the time we have. And his handler over on the side was like, oh, no. You got like 5-10 more minutes. And in that time, that girl that I mentioned in line that had a bouquet of flowers found a way to get to the front. She was not sitting in the front. She found a way to the front where there was two giant TIFF fucking film cameras that were filming the entire conversation, security all down the sides and at the front. And she somehow managed to get all the way to the front row, run across the front row to exactly in front of Taylor Swift and huck these flowers at her. And I've never seen so many security guards come out of literally thin air. And Taylor was like, oh guys, no, it's just flowers. Don't worry. But like, it was, for a moment, there was like you could hear a pin drop in there of just like, the fuck, did someone just throw a bomb at Taylor Swift? Like, what just the fuck happened? And then like that girl who just snuck around all those security guards and threw something at Taylor was just allowed to return to her seat and sit there like nothing happened. And I was like, what is going on?
That is hilarious.
So they didn't like body check her or like fucking like tackle her?
No,
I was assuming
she got
like,
to her
like
feet,
she
threw the flowers, and then almost immediately, like there was a security guard right beside her, and then she just like slinked away, and like nothing happened, and it was like, what the fuck?
There could have been anthrax in those flowers, just FYI.
Could have been anything, but like
could have been anything.
The fact that she was able to even get that close first before something happened, what the fuck? Like, what?
She was clearly
what are you doing?
She was clearly looking at her watch and on the move.
She was
like she was ready to go.
Mission,
yeah. So she made it and she tossed flowers at Taylor Swift, who didn't even touch the flowers.
Of course she didn't. She did.
Security picked him up and took him in the back, and I'm sure they threw him straight in the trash.
Like Tony just said, you don't know what's in those flowers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So after
I'm not surprised at all that she didn't touch them.
Yeah. So after that little bit of chaos, he asked a few more questions that were all kind of similar in theme anyway. Wrapped it up. She left. Everyone filed out, and I went to Keosan Road, where the wives actually made it to Toronto, and they went for some noodles, and I got some pad thai that night. Nice. So all in all, pretty good, but also the most chaotic lineup experience and just insane amount of patience I've ever had to go through at TIFF.
Did anybody try to, other than Flower Girl, did anybody try to bum rush the stage?
No. Everyone was
were they
really
not
nice.
allowed?
Well,
there's probably like security just like
tried,
chilling.
Like, yeah. Also, this one girl in front of me recorded the entire Q&A, and I was like, girl, do you see the 2 large cameras? They're filming this properly for you. You don't need to record the whole thing. You're wasting your iPhone memory.
They don't care. And I'm getting really annoyed about people taking fucking videos and pictures during screenings, because they did it during My Policeman, and they did
during
it
the screening?
During the screening I went to.
Yeah.
Like, which was the 3rd screening. They were taking photos and they were taking videos there. And I know that people were getting in the fight. That, you remember I said there was a fight at Project Wolf Hunting?
Yeah.
It was because people were taking fucking fan photos and fucking videos.
Like, while the movie was playing?
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. I just don't understand it.
I just don't understand. Well, why are you taking fucking videos during, like, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And what are these security guards paid for? What are they looking for? What are they doing?
I don't know. At one point, I reached down into my bag and I noticed the security guards, 2 of them, like, noticed me go down and come back up. And they were, like, noticeably watching me. And then they kind of stopped because I obviously wasn't doing anything. I was putting a sweater in my bag. But it's just like, I don't know. And for the Taylor Swift one I get, like, you can record that all you want because it's already on YouTube. Like, that one's not, it's out there. This isn't like, you can do whatever kind of you want. They didn't even roll. There was literally no pre-roll before this short started either. It was just and start.
I love it.
That was kind of cool. But yeah, for regular screenings, especially for like movies that are not out yet, that is 100% illegal.
Yeah.
So what are we? It's just like, you want to inspire new film lovers and things like that. But like, I also kind of want to inspire the right behavior. The fuck?
Yeah, I
don't want to go to the theaters if people are going to be fucking recording the screen and shit like they fucking were at our screening of West Side Story.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just don't get it. I don't know why it suddenly became okay, 1, and 2, what are we paying these security guards for?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, you could have had a weapon in the bag.
100%. They did.
Like, they watched
jack shit.
Like, they watched you go in type thing, but you could have had something in there, just like we could have. Because they didn't really check our bags either. And I got my bag checked constantly.
Yeah.
And the one guy was like, you can't bring food in here. I was like, it's a theater. What do you mean I can't bring food in here?
Yeah. The Scotia Bank. You couldn't bring food into the Scotia Bank.
Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
So what if you came in with a bag of popcorn and he was going, no, you got to throw that out? Bro, what?
He was just trying to be like, fucking, I was like, what are you doing? No, get out of my way. Like, it's a theater. Of course I can bring fucking food. But yeah, they weren't checking them properly.
Yeah. That's the impression that I got. They barely did anything. Like, the security guards that should have done shit barely did anything. And then security guards in there, I don't even know what the fuck they were doing, because like it wasn't much.
Some of them though were pretty invasive. Like when I went to Menu, they made me rip everything out and they checked like know how like it's some of the bag checks, Dave, they only like check the one compartment.
Yeah.
At the Menu, they literally like made me go through every fucking zipper.
Good. Jeez. I'm glad they fucking did it, because they didn't do it for me. And there was one point where I went and I had the bag open. They're like, "Oh, you have a badge. You don't need to get your bag checked." I was like, "You should probably check."
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Oh, yeah, that was at Good Nurse, I think.
That's sus.
Yeah, you should probably check it.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous, man. Oh no, it wasn't Good Nurse. It was Banshees, because Banshees was at 6 and it was still daylight out.
Yeah.
And we dropped the thing down and she's like, "Oh, you got a badge, you can just go in." Like,
the fuck.
Oh, okay.
The fuck.
I don't understand. Like, you have all these people, they're checking bags. Like, yeah, it's annoying, whatever. It's annoying for me to have to open my fucking bag every time, but whatever. You're looking for something and you're not finding it. You're yelling at me because I have a fucking muffin. Okay.
Sure.
But like, they should be checking. They should be going in a little more. like some of them were like digging around, and you had that person who was digging, told you to pull all your shit out.
No.
But it's like, why aren't you checking more? Yeah. Why isn't this girl getting body checked?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what is like, I just don't, why is nobody saying anything about the filming? Why are we just letting it go?
That's a great question.
Just because they're kids? No, they should get fucking thrown out. People paid fucking top dollar for that fucking Taylor Swift thing. They should get thrown the fuck out.
Yep.
Like I'm guilty of, I would have probably taken a bunch of pictures of her off and on, but I wouldn't be fucking videotaping it, and I wouldn't be fucking taping it during the screening.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong. Like once a Q&A starts, you want to take a few photos, but then stop. Like, what's the point of being at the Q&A if you're just going to be like staring at your phone, taking photos? Like
but people do that at concerts too.
True.
Like I've been to a number of like a Harry Styles concert, a Taylor Swift concert, and they're fucking videoing the whole time. I'm like, you paid God knows how much money for this fucking ticket. What are you doing?
Yeah. You're never going to watch them again.
Anyway. You're not. You're going to go on YouTube and fucking look at better clips.
Exactly.
Or you're going to go through fucking TikTok or Instagram and find somebody who is sitting in a better spot than you and watch their clips.
Yeah.
Annoying.
Well, yeah. So that was my chaotic one and only day at TIFF, which was a lot of fun. Yes.
Bless you.
It was special. So now that my giant Taylor Swift story is done, and it was insanity the entire time, let's go on to how was your day 3 at TIFF?
Day 3 was pretty solid, I thought. We started up with Butcher's Crossing, which was the Nick Cage movie.
Right. The one that you were at the red carpet for the night before. You went and saw it the next morning. Cool.
Yeah, at 8:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely not a movie you watch at 8:30 in the morning.
Nope. And it was it's a Western, and it's just kind of like the kid comes back. The kid was supposed to go to college, but he wants to figure out what life is like.
Sure.
So he ends up in the titular town of Butcher's Crossing, and he ends up on a buffalo hunt with Nicolas Cage, and he finances the whole thing, and he kind of like he sees some shit and hilarity ensues. Cool. And James, have you ever wanted to see a buffalo get skinned?
No, I didn't appreciate anything that was happening in Power of the Dog around buffalo skinning and hides and castrations. So no.
Okay,
no.
So how much buffalo skinning is too much buffalo skinning?
After being gunned down.
After you watch them getting shot too. Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like if you're gonna show me one buffalo getting skinned, I would probably be like, oh, okay, cool. But that's enough.
How about an entire montage sequence?
Oh,
multiple.
No, do you remember playing, and this can be somewhat related, but mostly on topic. Do you remember playing Red Dead Redemption, the first one?
Yes.
And like there was the one trophy that was called Manifest Destiny, and you had to like wipe out all of the buffalo and skin them all.
I do remember that.
I felt
that's
bad.
A vicious trophy.
It's Jesus. A vicious trophy. It was the greatest accomplishment of my life, and I also felt very sad for killing all these video game buffalo and skinning them all. I had so many hides, I didn't know what to do with it. So yeah, no, one is already too many for me, and I can't. It's too sad. Even though they're probably like all CG, but like.
There was a lot, James. There was a lot. And just because you mentioned Red Dead Redemption, I always have to tell the fun story.
Yep.
You remember like after you kill all the bad guys and you're going to go home and it's like this triumphant music.
Yes.
And it's like the sun is shining and everything's good and you're going home finally.
Yep.
Well, when I was going home on my horse, I got mauled by a jaguar.
Kind of took the wind out of the sails of that moment.
Yeah. Mauled by a jaguar.
Like it was vicious for throwing wildlife at you.
Yeah. I was like, well, so much for that triumphant moment. And then it restarted and the music was gone. I was like, well, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Cage is Nick Cage, sure, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just
he has this scene where Nick Cage plays as a bald man, which is very weird because he's
strange.
Bald and he has a big bushy beard. So like,
oh, very strange.
Yeah. in one scene he goes full predator and he takes out his big like hunting knife and he just starts dry shaving his scalp with this fucking knife.
Wait, did he have like, was he bald in Pig? I don't remember now. Or did he have his usual amount of hair?
He had hair.
Okay, I remember
I think he had long. I think he had his long hair for that one.
Yeah. No, so that would be off-putting.
Yeah, so it was odd, and you know, at the end of the movie, there's like a bunch of there's like the title cards type thing, and they say that it was about that they filmed the whole movie on a buffalo conservation site.
Oh,
so like some of the buffalo were real buffalo,
right?
Like, but no buffalo were harmed, and
Of course.
And then there's another thing about like how the buffalo got wiped out and stuff, and how they're trying to bring them back. It's like that's not what this movie was about.
Yeah.
That's not what it was about. So why is it suddenly about that in the credits? So that was strange. Yeah. That was strange. Yeah, that Fred kid was decent in it as well, but like the rest of the movie, I was just kind of like, it looks pretty, but it's really fucking bleak and really fucking long, and it's 8:30 in the morning.
And it's 8:30 in the morning.
It was a very bleak movie and a very like dark story to go into at fucking 8:30 on a Saturday.
Which makes it even funnier that we followed that up with Sarah Polley's Women Talking, which is about Mennonite women, a group of Mennonite women meeting up to discuss whether they should leave the colony or not, because they've been raped and sexually assaulted, and all these horrible things have happened to them, and all the men are in prison.
Basically scum.
They're all
of the universe.
Well, which we already knew, but most of them are in jail right now, and they're all coming back in the morning.
Yeah.
So if they're going to make the move, they got to make the move right fucking now. They got to decide whether they're leaving or they're coming or going.
Yeah.
And it's basically a stage play, and it's just like acting, like capital A acting. And it's harrowing. The music is great.
Yeah.
The color scheme is a little odd. It's very gray.
Right.
Very gray. But then there's like powerhouse performances from Claire Foy.
Ooh, yes.
And Jessie Buckley.
Yeah.
I love
They're
Jessie Buckley.
Amazing.
Yep.
And just like the whole cast is on fire. And then I hate to say it, but like Ben Weislaw.
Yep.
He's very good in it as well.
Very cool.
And he's like the only male in the movie.
Right.
Yeah. He's the teacher who's basically taking the notes of what is being discussed.
Right.
Because they can't read.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. That's very cool. That one is high on my list of need to see.
It was heavy shit. And we got into that one. Like we just walked out of Butcher's Crossing, got into the line, and we were immediately in, and they packed the shit out of that theater.
Oh man, it was chaos in that theater. Like James, if you remember what it was like going to Knives Out or Joker in 2019,
that was chaos.
This is what Women Talking was like.
Yeah. It was nutty. But yeah, it was. I think it's my favorite film of the festival, and it just hits you like a stack of fucking bricks.
That's what I need. I want to feel like I just got hit by a truck when I leave a movie.
Yeah,
you do. It's the performances are absolutely incredible. Like this movie is very emotionally devastating, and it'll stick with you for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
It lingers. And like Sarah Polley, like she hasn't directed a movie in over a decade. She hasn't lost a beat. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
So we followed that up with the Visionaries talk with Hillary Clinton and
yes, that's right,
Chelsea Clinton on their TV show or their Apple TV Plus show Gutsy, which I still haven't watched, but they were just talking about gutsy women and being women in the public eye, and they were interviewed. The person who was interviewing them was Sophie Trudeau.
Oh yes. So for Trudeau?
Yes. Which was kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And it was lovely. They were very eloquent and just like very inspiring, and just Hillary had some deadpan humor, and she was kind of like, she was leaning into like the Trump of it all.
Sure.
Like, I think one of the things she said was she went for a walk the next day after the election, and she ran into somebody who was walking their dog, and she just started like bawling her eyes out at Hillary, and she was like I'm so sad, like what the hell, I can't believe this happened, and she's like, yeah, me too, girl.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It was very
you
cool.
You can't believe this happened.
Yeah. Very cool listening to her talk and listening to her reference the 2016 election. It was great. Cool. Like I'm very glad we were able to get in there, because we were worried that we weren't gonna be able to. And like I think we were in Cinema 1. It was only half full. Like there wasn't a lot of people in there.
Nice.
Which is very surprising, right? Because like you're paying all this money, and you're like, me and Dave didn't pay a dime, and we saw this talk with Hillary Clinton.
Very cool.
Like people spend like hundreds upon hundreds to listen to this woman talk, and like it was great.
You took full advantage. I love it. It's great.
It was lovely. I'm really happy we got to do it.
Nice.
And the woman who was behind us, I think, she was press or media or whatever, and her husband or her camera guy, whatever, he had all his shit in a red wagon.
Yeah.
And they stopped him because they wouldn't let him bring the wagon in. And she was on the phone with him while we were standing in line, and she was losing her mind,
like yelling at the top of her fucking lungs, man.
Jesus.
I felt bad for the guy, to be honest.
She just gave her, like, she was fucking furious at this poor bastard, and just like up and down every side of this guy. And then she kept going in the fucking theater too.
Yeah. And then at one point she was like leaning on our seats to like film the fucking conversation, and like she was so close to us, James, that we could feel her breath on her neck.
Oh god.
And she was wearing I think she was wearing a mask too, and we could still feel her fucking air.
Yeah. But she left halfway through, which was fine. But she just lost her mind.
Jesus.
Like I get it. And she was calling him all sorts of funny names because he brought the wagon, and she told him not to bring the fucking wagon. And it was,
man.
I fucking told you not to bring the wagon. You never fucking bring that anywhere again. Like
it was
hilarious.
She fucking let loose.
Hilarious. I love
it. Loose.
I love it. So, in the interest of time, what are the quick hits you got from day 3?
Well, these are the biggies that we're gonna hit.
Yeah, so let's go through the biggies. Let's hit them.
So after we saw that, we got our hotel room, and then Tony saw Gaza Weekend and The Menu, where he ran into our cousin Bruno.
Right,
which is
that's right.
Best celebrity sighting.
Yes, that's it. That's
wild.
the TIFF experience.
Top 5 experiences.
I knew that was going to happen.
But I didn't.
But
I literally
like that
didn't.
You got the surprise. I was talking to him about it. I was like, how did Tony not know you were going to be there? He's like, oh, I just didn't tell him. But like, I got those tickets last minute. I was like, oh, that's cool. It was work that gave him those tickets.
And it was funny because we're gonna jump. We'll get to The Menu in a second. Gaza Weekend.
Yeah,
this was the ticket of the festival, man. Dave really came through for me, and I was so happy.
You really pulled it together, buddy.
You're welcome.
You're pulled it together, and it was the world premiere. The guy was there. The director was there. He talked about it briefly, which was great. The movie itself, and I haven't told you guys a thing about Gaza Weekend, have I?
Just fucking tell me, please.
Honestly,
please tell me.
It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
It is a political satire about basically a disease that happens, I think, in Israel. And they need this interracial couple. What the fuck is happening? All right, we're on a ski slope now. James is fucking with the background as I'm just telling you about Gaza Weekend.
Keep going. I'm listening.
All right,
man. I haven't stopped listening.
No, I know. And this couple is trying to get out of it. No, it's not. It wasn't Israel. It was Palestine.
Right.
They're trying to get out of Palestine, and basically everything's gone into lockdown, and the safest place to be is Gaza.
The Gaza Strip. Geez.
The Gaza Strip is the safest place to be.
What a premise.
Wow.
So this couple basically finds a way to get smuggled into Gaza.
Yeah.
The military finds out, and they go on the run in Gaza in the safe haven in the middle of a fucking pandemic, basically. And then it's just the weekend that this couple spends in Gaza trying to get out of Gaza. So they're trying to get into Gaza to get out of Gaza.
Jesus.
Oh my God. It is fucking hilarious.
Amazing.
There's definitely a message there, and there's definitely something that he's trying to get at.
Right.
And the whole ending of how they basically find a way to
escape.
Find a way to escape, but also find a way to get past. I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but get past the whole pandemic aspect. It is fucking funny. And
are you really up to date on the whole Gaza Strip?
I'm not.
And Israel.
They talked about it a little bit because he got asked questions about it, and and it ended up, and spoiler alert, it ended up winning the award because it was in the Discovery section.
Oh, cool.
And it ended up winning the Discovery Award, which is awesome. But yeah, you guys have to see it. I hope it finds an audience, because it's definitely going to have some problems being screened. This is the second movie that's going to have problems getting screened in the Middle East, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good.
Cool.
Dave, thank you so much. I was really, really pulling. And to let you know, James, Gaza Weekend is in my top 10.
Nice. Nice. All right, cool.
Better be. That was tough.
Cool.
That was tough. You might as well talk about the menu, and then I can mention how I feel about it after, because I saw it at 8:30 or 8:45 the next day.
I don't want to say too much about the menu. James, This is my elevator pitch of the menu.
Yes, please.
MasterChef meets Saw.
Say no more.
But not as graphic as you would think.
Oh, that's fair.
There's some graphic scenes, but I wouldn't go out to say that it's gruesome. Fantastic movie. Probably my favorite of the festival. Ray Fiennes is in a fucking world of his own.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy, just incredible, and she matches the intensity of Ray Fiennes.
That's cool.
Which is very hard to do, obviously. You got some supporting roles. You got John Leguizamo, who shows up.
Very cool.
Nicholas Hoult shows up. Dave's favorite guy, Arturo Castro,
nice,
shows up too.
Hong Chow, man, Hong Chow.
And I forgot about Hong Chow. Jesus Christ! There's another movie that she's in that we're going to talk about where she absolutely kills it. Holy shit, this woman is just fucking amazing.
Awesome.
And she's so good in it, and she's just deadpan. She gets most of the juicy lines come from her.
Yeah.
And she just delivers it with such deadpan humor. And she's so serious. And she doesn't break at all. I don't know how the hell some of the people didn't break when she was saying some of the stuff.
Yeah.
James, it comes out November 18th. I've already told my wife, book it in the calendar.
Yep.
This movie is something.
Heck
and then seeing our cousin Bruno right after.
Very cool.
He had let me know in the theater, the section that he was sitting at, because the script was written by the people who've written for Succession, so it has that razor sharp, snappy people talking over each other, very quick.
Yeah.
Quick back and forth.
It's like piano wire sharp.
Literally.
Very cool.
Parts where there shouldn't be laughing, he was just like, there's this like odd laughter at the right side. And like, there was like, it felt like there was only one guy laughing at everything. Yeah. That one guy was me.
Yeah, of course it was.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
Sick son of a bitch.
You sick
I was
fuck.
on the edge of my seat. I was so claustrophobic in the fucking Royal Alexander.
Oh, sure.
So claustrophobic, but I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
Yeah, it's
cool.
I'll bring up another word that Tony likes using. It's diabolical.
Nice.
It's diabolical.
Diabolical.
It's diabolical, razor sharp satire that not everyone's gonna love, but it's kind of like the haves and the have-nots, and just like foodie culture, and it just.
Oh, and if you're a foodie, you're gonna be all over this movie. This movie was made for you.
I love it.
It's just really, really well done, and you're either on for the ride or you're not.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think Ray Fiennes is a terrifying actor when he's a villain, and just like, I think he's his scariest in this movie.
Amazing.
It's just because he's not really the villain, but like he's villainous enough, and it's just
he's a central antagonist.
Cool.
Yeah,
the movie.
Yeah, and it's on another level, and no spoilers, but there's a burger is part of the film.
Yeah.
And apparently they handed out burgers after the screening.
Man, when we got out of there, there's a fucking food truck.
Amazing.
Like, the menu was there, like all like the dishes that they make in the movie and stuff. And they were giving out burgers. The burger was absolutely awful, but like, you know what? In the moment, it was fucking. And I hadn't eaten, so it was the first thing that I eaten in 12 hours. It was the greatest thing in my life.
And then we had burgers and fries forever too, which was great.
Yeah,
which was great.
Dope.
Which is great, but I didn't realize that it meant something until after I saw the movie.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, I really liked it too.
Cool.
So I did the double header of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, and the Fabelmans.
Yes.
Hell of a double header in the Princess of Wales. I was sitting in the fucking rafters for Glass Onion, and I was down in the orchestra for for Fabelmans.
Yeah.
But yeah, Glass Onion. And they were all there for Glass Onion.
Yeah.
They were all there for Fabelmans.
Yeah.
I breathed the same air as Steven Spielberg.
Amazing. And you were in the orchestra, so you were even closer to the air.
And I was in the orchestra. Yeah. Like I can't even.
Yeah.
All that to say, Glass Onion is a murder mystery again.
Sure.
Daniel Craig doesn't skip a beat.
Of course.
The writing is great.
Of course.
The score is great.
Daniel Craig is much more animated. He gives a much different. It's a very different performance.
Still Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh,
he's still that, but
he's still that. But he brings more to the character. Yeah,
there's more energy. Yeah, and just like there's a lot of fun in jokes, and it's a lot less dated than Knives Out was. It feels like you can,
I guess,
like Knives Out was a little more dated with some of the references. These references aren't so dated, and just Janelle Monáe slays.
Amazing.
Yeah,
slays.
Amazing.
Really good character.
And I'm not a huge fan of Kate Hudson, but she's awesome in this.
Oh, cool.
She's awesome.
She's much different. She's not putting her usual Kate Hudson performance. She's radically different.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know what Rian Johnson did to get a performance out of her, but obviously he needs to direct her more often.
All of this to say, it's too long. It's very self-indulgent, and it doesn't get moving until it's like a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. And I don't think it gets moving until like an hour goes by.
Mm-hmm.
Like the opening is great, but it's like fucking 10 minutes too long.
Oh, okay.
And it's so elaborate, and it's like, oh yeah, this is fun, but it's like, let's get to the fucking movie already.
Yeah. Well, and especially coming off of Knives Out, which was just like really to the point right away. Yeah. I feel like anything would almost feel like a little bit of whiplash of like, oh, why is this taking so long? Like,
it's clever and it's fun, and it just takes too long.
Yeah, it's too much build up at the start, and like Dave said, like the pieces don't start moving until like an hour in, and it's an hour of like just setting everything up.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's fun enough, and it's enjoyable, and it's going to do well on Netflix. And
sure,
unlike other productions, like, you know how much money they put in to buy this movie. Like you can see it on the screen. It is very elaborate. The special effects look great. It is like they're in Greece. They're in like a Grecian island, and it's like a fancy mansion type thing. And it looks like the money is there. They spent the fucking money on this thing.
Very cool.
But
well, it's good. Like it's good that they actually like put some effort behind it. Like Netflix believes that it's like a successful enough property that they can put in and spend that money, and it's also not going to waste.
Yeah, it didn't go to waste. Like it's all on the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I enjoyed it enough. I didn't love it like other people did.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard. Like it's easy not to talk about what the fucking murder mystery of it all is. But it's just like there's a lot of funny bits and there's a lot of clever foreshadowing.
Excellent.
So, all of that said, so I was in line. So I got right in for that movie.
Yep.
Right in for that. And we basically left and got back into line.
Yep.
And the line was wrapped around all the way down to Richmond. It was nuts.
Jesus.
Because of the Q&A took a little longer.
Oh.
And so wrapped around down to Richmond, and Fabelmans was supposed to start at 9:15.
Yep.
And it was 9:30 and I was still outside.
Oh my God.
And by the time I got to my seat at 9:40, Spielberg had already done the intro, and they were already doing like the sponsored clips. And there were at least 200 people behind me.
Oh my God.
So they basically started it when people were still outside.
Jesus.
So
why why?
I don't know, but I wasn't a fan of that.
That had to be the last film of the night, right?
It was. And yeah. And it's a 2.5 hour movie. It's like you have all these people still out on the street. Like, come on, guys. Like, what are you doing? So that was a little annoying.
No. Well, at least you didn't miss the film. Yeah,
I didn't miss the film, which, it's basically Spielberg's grand opus.
Right.
Like it's semi-autobiographical.
Sure. Yeah.
There's lots of different kinds of footage in it, or different styles. And it's emotional. It's really, really funny. And like everybody's given their all here.
Amazing.
Very, very heartfelt. It's a movie about memory. It's a movie about how Spielberg came to be and his love for film.
Yeah.
How his family shaped who he was.
Yeah.
Just a great, great film. I went in and it's a roller coaster of emotion, man, because you tear up, you're laughing, you're smiling, then you're a sobbing mess.
Sure.
You run the gamut of fun.
Exactly.
Of emotions.
If you're anything like us who hold Spielberg's work on a grand pedestal, this movie is going to hit you very hard.
And like Gabriel Labelle is the lead, and he's basically, his name is Sammy, but it's clearly Steven Spielberg, and he's out of this world. He's holding his own against Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, and he's
cool.
It's one of his first real roles, one of his first real lead roles, and he's amazing in it. He's so freaking good.
Yeah,
he crushed it
really, really well.
And Judd Hirsch has one, like, he's in it for 8 minutes.
Yeah,
and he fucking owns all 8 minutes. Yeah, he's amazing.
Judd Hirsch,
very,
man.
Very memorable scene that he's in, for sure.
Very memorable. And like Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
He's incredible. He's really good in this. I thought he'd be in it more, but he's really fucking good in this. Fucking Paul Dano's great. And, obviously Michelle Williams is amazing. I don't think she should be going for Best Actress because she would have won Best Supporting in a Cakewalk.
Yeah.
But she's very good. And without spoiling or without saying anything, David Lynch shows up, and
amazing.
His scene is an all-timer.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. All-timer.
I'm
definitely
excited.
An all-timer.
I'm so excited. And it's so good to hear that, it seems like it was a really passionate project for him, and like everybody got on board with that vibe and like just gave it their all too. So that's awesome. I'm very excited.
It's a beautiful film, and like John Williams' score, Tony Kushner co-wrote it with Spielberg. Yeah. Like you can see the love and the attention and just like the wonder of making movies.
Amazing. Yeah. I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait.
It's beautiful. It is it's moving. I can't say enough good things about it. Yeah. And I fucking love the bit with David Lynch. It's so fucking good.
I can't.
After the movie was over, they were all up there, but Spielberg's sisters were in the audience.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was a long standing applause and standing ovation, and they made us sit down to get the show moving.
Yeah, because it was already late.
It was super. It would have been well after 12 by that point.
Yeah.
And he was moved, and he was so happy that he brought it to Toronto, because he's never come to Toronto with a world premiere. And I don't think most of his movies, ever premiere in competition.
Oh, wow.
Like they're always out of competition, because he's had movies in Cannes, he's had movies at South by, he's had movies at New York and AFI type thing, but they're never in competition.
Right. Yeah.
And this one was in competition, and it won People's Choice.
Yeah.
And like, it was a foregone conclusion it was going to win, but like,
but still.
after you watch it, you're like, okay, yeah, it deserved to win.
Great. That's so great. I'm so very excited.
It was something else. And like Dave got to see the world premiere. I got to see the press screening the next day, but I, for whatever reason, they were doing two screenings, one in cinema 1, one in cinema 2. I had gotten there. The movie was at, I think the movie was at like 8 or something, 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning.
It was early.
It was early. It was fucking early, man. And I got there at 7. It was already packed to shit.
Of course.
I ended up getting into cinema 2, no problem. And then it just so happened that they were having a press conference right after the movie.
Nice.
And you expect the press conference to take place in cinema 1 because that's the biggest one. No, the press conference started in cinema 2, which I was at.
Nice.
So I got a fucking 45-minute press conference with Steven Spielberg, Seth Rogen, Paul Dano, the main actor. I can't remember what was his
Gabriel
name?
LaBelle.
He was there. Judd Hirsch was there. Is it Judd Hirsch?
Hirsch, yeah.
Judd Hirsch was there, and Tony Kushner.
Very cool.
You didn't get to see Michelle Williams, but
no,
everybody else was there.
Very
Tony
cool.
Kushner said how much he hates writing, which is very weird. But right, everyone looked at him, and even Spielberg looked at him. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're a goddamn writer. What do you mean you hate writing?" But
people
that wasn't
the craft differently.
Right.
He hates
it. But the moment that I loved the most of that is Gabriel looked at Spielberg and said, "Thank you so much, Steven, for giving me this opportunity to be you, to embody you. It's just, I watched all your movies growing up. It was a huge, huge honor for me." And he looks at him, and then he's just like, "Yeah, thank you. And then he brings up a little anecdote about how Francis Ford Coppola brought Brando out of retirement for Godfather.
Yep.
Got Brando to do everything. And then Francis Ford Coppola did Apocalypse Now after The Godfather and tried to get Brando to do it. And Brando had turned him down like 10, 11, 12 times before he said yeah. And then Brando demanded more money from Coppola about it, more than he got paid for Godfather.
Yeah.
And he turned and looked at Gabriel, and he's like, "Gabriel, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember that I did you a favor by putting you in Fabelmans. So when I come back to you in 10 years, you're going to do me this way. You're going to remember this moment." And he looked at him and he pointed in his face. I was like, "Holy shit. Like, you can't pay for this. Like, you couldn't write anything better."
Yeah.
And to just be in the same room as Spielberg, like, I was crying listening to him talk, because I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I grew up watching this guy's films, and I'm literally sitting in front of him right now. It was an incredible.
He's the fucking GOAT, Tony.
Yeah. He is literally the GOAT. We were talking about it a little bit, and when you go through his filmography, there is no, I challenge you to find a better director who has more bangers in his filmography than Steven Spielberg.
True.
Yeah, it's just, he's the GOAT, and it was incredible getting to see him. So I'm so happy you got to see him, because getting to see him and hearing him talk was next level.
Yeah. Next level, and definitely like one of my favorite. It's gonna go down as one of my favorite moments for sure at TIFF.
Yeah. And then I met up with you after that, and we got to go to the Visionaries talk with SS Rajamouli.
Oh, very cool.
Which was cool.
That was nice.
It was really nice. And he was just talking about Tollywood and just like the appeal of Triple R, and just like how he's been approaching his films, and how he's like not quite in the Indian system, but like kind of
right.
out.
Yeah,
just on the
like
outside of it.
He's on the outside of it, and how he's kind of made his own mark on it.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good. And then for some reason, India didn't select R for the Oscars.
Insane.
Dumbest fucking thing they could have done.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Because clearly that was like the start of the Oscar run, was this conversation. Because he has another one at either Beyond Fest or Fantastic Fest. And it's like,
what's the point?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because that's why Taylor Swift was there too.
Yeah.
She's going to be gunning for the Oscar.
Of course.
And it's just like, but yeah, I learned a lot about Hollywood cinema. So I've meant to watch R before this conversation, so we could finally talk about R, but that'll be for another day.
You're an amateur, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
One day, Dave.
Luckily, they didn't. I expected them to talk a little bit more about R, but they didn't ruin it. So I was pretty pleased with that. Pleased for David, because he still hasn't seen this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then we ran into your buddy after.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He was there. So that was fun. And then I didn't mention it, but I finally met up with a Twitter friend of mine before the doubleheader. His name's Christopher Schobert, and he works out of Buffalo. And it was a joy getting to finally meet him and chat with him in IRL.
Very cool.
So, because we've been chatting on Twitter forever, and we never met each other, and we finally made a point of it. So it was lovely. That was lovely.
Met your Twitter IRL friend.
That was lovely. And I ran into Chris Evangelista, one of our favorite writers for Slash Film.
Yes.
He was in line for Fabelmans, obviously. And I made a point of stopping to say hello to him and like talking to him briefly. So that was quite lovely as well.
Yeah. Big shout out to Chris Evangelista. Never met him. I just love him. I don't know why.
Yeah.
What did you have after Rajamouli, Dave?
I believe after Rajamouli, we met up with Bruno and Florine and Theo, our cousins. They went to go see Glass Onion, and they were at the gin
the gin booth
pop up.
Yeah.
So we lined up. We got in for the gin, and then we.
How was the gin?
It was actually pretty good. It was like a lemon.
If I made drinks like this with gin, I'd probably drink gin a lot more.
Yeah. That was basically it. Like I too would drink gin more if I could make them like this.
As an off-story branch out of gin, just quickly, my wife and I had a cocktail party yesterday, and my favorite drink of the night was gin and juice. So let me tell you, I could drink gin and juice for the rest of my life. Snoop Dogg was onto something, man.
What kind of juice?
Cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice. So
it was like it was gin, lime, cranberry. I think it was a gin, lime, and cranberry. Yeah, over ice. It's incredible.
Nice.
That's nice.
Anyway, yes, but agreed. I never really liked gin, and then I was like, you know what? I could drink a lot more gin if it tasted like this all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the whole gang was there for Knives Out as well, or for Glass Onion that they saw, which they were really excited about.
Yes.
And then we hung out with them for a bit, and then we went back to the hotel where Tony promptly passed the fuck out.
Sure.
I wrote some reviews, and then I passed the fuck out.
Nice.
And then we went our separate ways again, and I saw The Whale, and Tony saw The Eternal Daughter.
Cool.
The Whale was much like yours, what you were talking about with Taylor Swift. There were lines for days.
Yeah.
Lines for days. And somehow when I ended up in a line behind, I don't know, 500-700 people, maybe, I don't know how many people were behind me or were in front of me or behind me. But Emily Hampshire from Schitt's Creek, she plays Stevie. She was standing right in front of me.
Oh, cool.
Which was weird. And everybody kept walking by me like, is that? and I quietly was just like, are you? And she like kind of looked around, and then she's like, yes. and I was like, don't worry, I'm not gonna geek out or fan out type thing. Like, I just want to tell you, I saw your film, The End of Sex. You were great in it type thing. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then she like got attacked by a bee.
Oh God.
And then she was talking about how her phone wouldn't recognize her because she had just gotten her hair done.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, so that was kind of fun.
Cool.
And then I finally got in for The Whale.
Yep.
Like just in the nick of time. And Aronofsky came out and introduced. He talked for a while about how much he loves TIFF, and I wasn't claustrophobic inside the Royal Alex, but I was also sitting on an end, and he brought out the cast and everybody was clapping type thing, and then the movie started and there was it just went right to movie because it was supposed to start at 5:30 and I think it started closer to like 6:10.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So The Whale.
Yep.
It's all one location basically, and it's Brendan Fraser, and he's a teacher or like an online teacher. And he's like 600 pounds. He's eating himself to death.
Oh no.
He lost his partner. His partner committed suicide. He wants to reconnect with his daughter, who's Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
His friend is Hong Chow, and she's basically like a nurse. So she kind of like helps him out, but she also enables him. And it's just a lot of talking type thing. And it's riveting and emotional, and holy shit, James, I've never seen Brendan Fraser own the screen like he does here.
He shows some sort of like real commitment to the role, and like he loses himself.
Amazing.
You do not see Brendan Fraser, you just see this character. Like he owns this performance.
Yeah.
It's a version of him that you have not seen before.
That's amazing to hear.
Hong Chow is incredible in it.
Yeah.
And she's like just like twisting the knife and making jokes type thing. And then on a turn is just like super emotional.
Wow.
Yeah. And super serious. And and Sadie Sink is a real bitch in this movie. And
she'll fucking break your heart.
She's a heartbreaker, and she's so good.
Yeah.
And like I haven't seen the new season of Stranger Things yet, but like if she's as good as she is here, like holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like I can't say enough good things about this movie. Like it looks great. It's very like it's just there's a lot of passion here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know it's getting a lot of controversy with the character being overweight, and then just like some of there's like some gay controversy, and then just there's a bit where he drops a key and it's a little comical, but at the same time you're also like, oh, like this is terrible type thing.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, I know a lot of people are pissed off about this movie, but like it's riveting.
Yeah.
It's riveting. And I was bawling at the end.
Wow.
Just like I was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
James, I saw the movie the next day, and like I was leaving the theater and my face was still wet. Like, and there's people still like actively sobbing as we were leaving the theater, like in line, like the whole procession of leaving the theater, people were still like,
wow.
Yeah. It's heavy shit.
It's fucked, man. Yeah. That those last 5 minutes, they are emotionally crippling.
The whole movie is emotionally crippling, but yeah, that last like little bit is really, it's heavy. And Ty Simpkins is pretty good in it. I'm a little iffy on his character. And then Samantha Morton has like one scene and she's off the chain.
She's great.
So great. So great. And then they came out after, and I have like Tony and I went to Whiplash in 2014, and it was like a long standing ovation.
Yeah.
And I think the standing ovation for when Brendan Fraser walked out was double that.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was long, and he was emotional. Like if you've seen the video of him in Venice, it was exactly like that. Like you could see how touched he was.
Yeah.
And how emotional he is about this character in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And he was so appreciative. And just, I wish Hong Chow was there, because she was incredible too.
Amazing. I'm glad he's having a renaissance finally.
The renaissance?
Not even, you know what? He's already been having a really good time. It's just no one's really noticed until now. So I'm glad people are noticing that he's back and putting in solid work, as he's always
putting in
done.
the work. Yeah. And like it's his Oscar to lose right now.
Amazing.
Like just next level. So Tony, Eternal Daughter.
While he was saying that, I saw Eternal Daughter, which is a Tilda Swinton joint.
No, yes, sure.
She plays dual roles here. A mother and daughter go to a hotel to spend the weekend for the mother's birthday, and the daughter is trying to write a screenplay at the same time. It's a gothic ghost story. I don't have too much to say about this other than Tilda Swinton in a dual role. Incredible. I don't know how this woman does it, but to go from one character to another.
Nice.
She's really a chameleon, Tony.
Yeah, seriously.
Truly.
The movie was super slow. Slow burner. It was your it wasn't like a typical ghost story. But it was eerie, very atmospheric.
Nice.
I'm glad I saw it. Tilda and the director. I'm trying to get her name right now. Joanna something. She did The Souvenir
Part 1 and Part 2.
Part 1 and
yes. I've heard to see those.
Yeah.
I hear really good things.
Joanna Hogg?
That's it.
I want to say? Yeah.
That's it.
I've never seen The Souvenir. Apparently everyone likes The Souvenir.
Yeah.
This was it's all I hear. This one was more like a very personal story for her. Like I said, this is the first movie I've seen from her, so I can't really like compare.
Yeah.
But you could tell that there was some real heart to the story, and like it was very like lived. The story was very lived in.
I think it's connected to the Souvenir movies.
No, I don't think it. I don't. They mentioned it, and they said that no, that was one of the questions, if it was like a spin-off or something or like a continuation of the chapter, and they said no, it was something completely different.
Oh yeah.
I saw a talk with them. It was a world premiere. Very nice to hear Tilda Swinton talk. She's a very, very interesting person to listen to, and Joanna was very nice too. Yeah. And then that led us into our next movie, The Good Nurse.
The Good Nurse,
cool. Which is another world premiere. Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne were in attendance.
Yeah, and the director. It's based on a true story about a nurse who kind of has a friend who's a new nurse, and he might be killing people.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Which sounds more interesting than the movie was. It was just like Jessica Chastain is awesome, as she usually is.
Yeah,
it's just there's no real momentum to it and no real stress, because her character also has she has a bum ticker, and she needs to get it.
All right. So there's a little side plot with like her heart and stuff that they like keep going in and out of.
Yeah,
but they don't really do anything with it.
No. Oh, they more focus on like the Eddie Redmayne of it all.
Yeah, and Eddie Redmayne is playing Eddie Redmayne, so he's just Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah,
he's just Eddie Redmayne. And yeah, there's some great parts in it, and then it was just a slog, and I wasn't a fan of it. And they did a Q&A before the movie, which was odd.
Yeah,
which I didn't understand. It's like, cool, thanks.
Well, because they were running late, right?
It's weird.
Like, they were running late, and then because of the interest in time, and like at the end of the movie, they're like, stay after the credits. We have a special like meeting for you. And because the movie was inspired by a true story, so the nurse that Jessica Chastain played, they brought her out, and she basically just waved to the audience and then left, and that was it.
But the director brought her out as opposed to Jessica Chastain.
It wasn't Jessica. You would think that Jessica Chastain would bring her out so that you could see the both of them together.
Well, that would be the point.
Me and Dave were talking about it. It just seemed like a huge missed if not a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
But this movie, it didn't really do. It's a fine movie, and like as like a rainy day Netflix watch, because it comes out on Netflix later next month.
Sure.
End of October.
It's fine, but it didn't really, especially after getting my ass kicked by the whale, it didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, and also your bar has been set pretty high by now.
Yeah. So Tony saw The Whale the next day in the morning, and then he saw Glass Onion. So we've already talked about those.
Yep.
I saw Empire of Light, which is the new Sam Mendes movie, which it's supposed to be about love of cinema, but it's also about mental illness and racism and Margaret Thatcher politics. And it's all over the fucking place.
It's an and it's too many ands.
Too many ands. Olivia Colman's really great in it, and Toby Jones is really great in it.
Yeah.
But too many ands.
Yeah.
Way too many ands. But all of that said, Roger Deakins' cinematography, chef's kiss, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross score, Chef's Kiss.
You're selling me on the other parts of this.
So the technical elements, amazing. Everything else, not amazing.
So amazing. Yeah,
not amazing. So I was let down by that one. Other people liked it, but I think it's a fucking mess. Then I saw that Devotion afterwards in the IMAX.
Ooh.
And it was I guess they didn't play with the filter on the camera. So it looked like shit. But the movie was just okay. Yeah. It was about the first black airman in
right. World War
in the Navy.
Yeah.
And in Korea.
Korea.
And it's Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell.
Yep.
And it's just okay. I wanted it to be a lot better. They're both really good in it. And the story is an incredible true story. It's inspired by an incredible true story. And I think it deserved better.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So I wanted so much more from that.
Yeah, it's one of those though that I saw the trailer for it and I was just like, I wasn't even wowed by the trailer and I was just like, this looks fine, I guess.
It reminded me of Midway.
Yeah,
you guys remember when Midway came out? Yeah,
that's the vibe.
And it didn't help that Glenn Powell's in it and Top Gun came out this year.
Yeah,
so that doesn't
kind of ruined its appeal. A little bit. Because Top Gun's a better movie.
Yeah, it's just okay. Like it deserved to be better. But they're both very good.
Well, that's good.
And then Tony and I met up and we saw Wildflower, which was a world premiere.
Nice.
And that movie is about it's apparently based on a true story as well. And it's about a young woman coming of age and how she kind of goes through life with disabled parents.
Ah, okay.
Sally from Mad Men was
sure.
Kiernan Shipka. Yeah.
Kiernan.
She was incredible.
Cool.
She's very good in it. Like everybody's good in it. It's just kind of like been there, seen it, done it.
Nothing
bought the
new.
T-shirt.
Nothing new. Yeah.
It's your standard coming into age. Like I really enjoyed it, but like it wasn't reinventing the wheel. Tells the same story that you've already heard. Someone trying to rise against.
Right.
Or not rise against, but just like rise up from
their circumstance.
Their circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny and it's touching and just
heartwarming. Like it's like a warm hug.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
warm hug.
There's some great acting in it and there's some great supporting characters like Gene Smart's in it and
Jackie Weaver's
in it too. And but it's nothing special, unfortunately.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then we followed that up with The Banshees of Inisherin. Which is the new movie with Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson.
Yes. I've been looking forward to this one.
Barry Keoghan, and it's written and directed by Martin McDonagh.
Yep.
Who did In Bruges, Seven Psychopaths, and 3 Billboards, which I really like. I know a lot of people hate it, but I really liked it. I really like it. And Tony managed to sit like a couple rows ahead of me, which was fun. Colin wasn't there, even though he just won Best Actor in Venice.
I feel bad. I feel bad for anyone who bought the premium tickets for this movie because they probably paid like at least like $60 to $80 for the ticket.
Jeez.
And the only people that were there was Martin McDonagh and the actress
Carrie Condon.
Who plays Colin Farrell's sister in the movie. And the producer.
Yeah.
That is who showed up for your $80 world premiere ticket.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Apparently Martin McDonagh's dating Phoebe Waller-Bridges, and apparently she was there too.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that sounds right.
But she wouldn't have been on the stage because she had nothing to do with the movie, but she was there apparently.
Cool.
Because they went to a screening of Blonde the next day.
Oh, fun.
Nice. Since Dave hasn't said anything about this movie, James, this movie's fucking hilarious.
Amazing.
Like it is a breakup movie like no other.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it. You may need some subtitles for it.
That's fair. I needed subtitles for In Bruges. So
exactly. But it is a fucking good time.
I was going to say, you better say fecking.
It's a fecking good time.
It's a fucking good time, man.
Amazing.
It was Jenny the donkey. I love her.
Yeah, Jenny the donkey. Shout out to Jenny the donkey. Colin Farrell's fucking amazing in this movie. Brendan Gleeson's amazing. What's his
Carrie Condon and Barry Keoghan are great.
Yeah,
too.
Barry. Cool. I was just about to say Barry Keoghan like steals the show, man. He literally every scene that he's in, I literally just had a smile on his face because he plays a character like so innocent and just so dumb.
Yeah,
but like he has so much heart.
Yeah,
I love that. It was a bit too slow paced for me, but I will agree with Tony. It's very funny. And there's like a recurring bit with fingers that I'm not going to talk about, but the person in front of me was freaking out.
Okay.
Yeah. Like losing her mind about this fucking recurring bit.
All right.
But yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. They shot it on location in Ireland and it's just cinematography.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the kind of movie that's like wrapped up in metaphors and there's like
layers. There's layers.
It's an onion. Yeah.
It's an onion. It's an onion.
Fucking perfect onion. Yeah.
There's satire and there's also allusions and just I think I needed to be in a better headspace for it.
Yeah. That's fair. And there's like underlining thing. They talk about like the underlining of like the troubles and stuff, and that overshadows everything. Right. And like like they've said, it's an onion. It's there's layers to it. So I feel like every watch of this movie will be different because you'll see it in a different aspect.
Very cool. So I'm looking forward to rewatching this one for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And then we went home after that, which was lovely. And then we went back the next day and we watched
The Son,
which
was the follow up to the father. Yeah.
Is this third film going to be The Holy Ghost?
No,
apparently it's supposed to be the mother.
It's supposed to be the mother.
Lame.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the mother. I thought it was going to be the Holy Ghost and or House of Gucci. It's not.
It could be either one, and I would have been okay with it.
It's not. But yeah, it's based on his play. Florian Zeller. He won the Oscar for The Father, and it's based on his play, and it's about the son. The titular son is 17 years old. His parents divorced. His dad remarried and had a new baby, and kind of he's super depressed. And like he's not going to school. He's spending his days kind of walking the streets of New York.
Right.
And so he talks to his dad and he's like, "Hey, can I move in with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll move in. You can move in with me." And, it kind of goes from there.
Okay.
And I feel like I know The Whale is very divisive, but this one is super divisive because I was not a fan. And I know a lot of people were not a fan of this. And like Chekhov's fucking motifs and foreshadowing, blatant foreshadowing,
just right
is
there,
kind of
like he doesn't even like you just show it once, but like it literally like almost became like a symbol during the movie because he kept cutting back
fucking light,
to it and just like pounding you in the head with it. And like,
the green light in The Great Gatsby, it's like that. It's that fucking blatant.
And like the kid is like playing at your heartstrings and you want to feel bad for him.
Yeah.
It's just the actor who's playing the son is doing it so over the top and it's just not good. You can't get on board, man.
Yeah.
But to that point, like he's also a 17-year-old kid who's going through a lot of emotions and he doesn't really know how to control his emotions. So obviously he's going to be all over the place, but it didn't do it's peaks and valleys. And then Laura Dern doesn't really do anything. Vanessa Kirby doesn't really Vanessa Kirby's really good.
They don't give enough
do anything.
They don't give enough.
They don't have enough to do.
I feel like she's just sidelined during the movie.
Sure. And then Anthony Hopkins shows up for literally 5 minutes and fucking destroys everything.
Oh, of course.
Literally the best scene of the movie is the 5 minutes with fucking Anthony Hopkins.
And then he doesn't come back. And then he doesn't. Where is he?
Yeah,
where'd he go?
It's like, and he's gone. Yeah.
Where'd he go? And then Hugh Jackman, again, peaks and valleys. Like he's very good here, but he's always very good.
Yeah.
And he has some good moments and stuff. And like there's a good moment for him at the end, but it's
an amazing moment.
It's not earned. It wasn't earned, and like it was like you didn't really need it.
Yeah, it's the epilogue you don't need.
Exactly. There you said the epilogue comes after like this big emotional scene, right? And like you could have just ended it on that scene. You didn't need that extra, like it's like the Talia al Ghul, right? You get the knife in there, right? You've already done the twisting.
You don't need to twist.
You don't need to twist more, right?
Yeah.
All of that said, exquisite production design, like just like The Father. Like the apartments look incredible. Everything looks great. But I was really, really disappointed with this one.
It's too bad.
I had high hopes for that because like The Father was one of my favorites.
Of course,
it was 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because The Father's fucking incredible.
Exactly, and this was just a huge letdown.
Yeah.
No. Then we followed that up with Pearl in the IMAX, which
no spoilers. I need to see it.
It's not at all like X. It's just
don't go in expecting X at all.
No.
It's very Technicolor, like 50s vibe, even though it takes place in the 20s. Yeah. It takes place during the Spanish flu, so everybody's wearing masks, so it feels like COVID type thing.
Yeah.
And she bangs a scarecrow, which is odd.
Cool.
But
Mia Goth in her own like she's doing circles around everyone.
She's out of this world, James. And there's like a 9-minute extended monologue that she has that she crushes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've never thought she was a great actor, but she fucking crushes this.
Yeah. I'm very
crushes
excited.
This.
I'm very excited.
Like the ending scene.
Yeah.
Like it'll haunt you.
It'll haunt you, buddy.
I'm so
it's amazing.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's really well done.
I personally wanted a little bit more blood. It wasn't gruesome enough, but like I will say that some of the death scenes in the movie are actually pretty gnarly.
Awesome.
But again, I was going in expecting same level as X.
You made a mistake.
Yeah,
exactly. And I'm pretty excited. I'm going to see it on Tuesday with my wife again. So I'm excited to give it another shot.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just they're virtually completely different movies.
Yeah. Very, very different.
And
movies.
like props to her and Ty West for making completely different movies with completely different vibes.
Very cool.
Yeah. And it's I'm very interested to watch them both together and kind of pick up on different things, but I know they're totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we followed that up in the IMAX again with a little film called EO, which was a big hit at Cannes. And it's about a sentient donkey who's experiencing the best and the worst humanity has to offer.
It's a road trip movie, but the main character is
the donkey.
Yeah,
it's the donkey. Yeah.
Dave was saying that the best actor is locked up with Brendan Fraser. Let me tell you, James, if that donkey is eligible for best actor, Brendan Fraser has some worrying to do.
Amazing.
And they didn't bring the donkey out for a conversation.
Like what
there's
the fuck?
6 different donkeys and they didn't bring one donkey.
No donkey.
That's
missed opportunities, man.
Unacceptable.
But the movie, go ahead, Dave.
Go, Dave, or go, Tony.
go. The movie was great. There was some. The cinematography was really good. We liked how there was like the donkey vision because you get to see they must have done like the Truffle Hunter where they put the GoPro on the donkey and the donkey just walks and stuff. And fucking what's her name? Isabel Hubbard.
Yeah, Isabelle Huppert.
She shows up randomly at one point. It's like the misadventures of this donkey and how like he's like literally just like passed from person to person to person on his journey. And like there's like this weird subplot where the donkey wants to be a horse. Jesus. So like you see like all these moments when the donkey's around horses and it just wants to be a horse. And it's heartwarming and it's sad and you just don't know what you're expecting. Dave sold this movie as like it's a road trip movie with a donkey and you follow the donkey. And that's exactly what it is.
Neat. And it's in 4:3, so it took up a good chunk of the IMAX screen. So it was it was
pleasantly surprised with this one, but I really enjoyed it. Definitely seek it out. Just for something different, man. Just like a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Like
right. And then the next day we saw Sanctuary with Christopher Abbott and Margaret Qualley, which is about a BDSM relationship. and he wants to break it off. She doesn't. And hilarity ensues. Apparently this guy needs to stop going into hotels with strange women.
Right.
And it's just a two-hander, them going back and forth. And really well done. Really well done. Margaret Qualley's great.
She's great in it. I wasn't really on board with this one. Like Dave said, Christopher Abbott just needs to stop meeting strange women in hotel rooms.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. It's exactly what you would expect. Gets in, gets out, doesn't overstay its welcome. Enjoyable in some parts, but just like a whole lot of meh for me.
That's fair.
I dug it.
Yeah,
I dug it, but I was into Margaret Qualley, so that's probably why.
That's it.
And then we followed that up with a Canadian film called North of Normal, which is based on a true story again about a young girl who kind of grows up in like a wilderness colony with her grandparents and her free-spirited mother, and
played by Sarah Gadon.
Sure. Gadon. And she kind of, and then it kind of goes back and forth between her as a kid and then kind of her as like a teenager.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to adjust and trying to adjust to real life type thing. And it was, it's fun. It's enjoyable. Sarah Gadon, really good. And
another warm hug of a movie.
Yeah.
We didn't
Robert
really
Carlyle's in it too.
Yeah, he plays an amazing.
Wild.
He's wild as the grandfather. He was really good. We were really taken aback by this movie because we weren't really expecting much, and we really enjoyed it.
Cool.
And then Tony left to go back to work. We watched Susie Searches on digital, and I don't want to talk about Susie Searches because it fucking sucked.
You also skipped the part where I saw Holy Spider.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Well,
James, you need to see this. You need to see this movie. It's on my list.
We talked about Holy Spider back at the ENW with Dave. Dave telling me about it, but I was sold on his little Letterboxd review, and I'm sold. I just need this movie to come out.
The ending crippled me. Like it was just. I needed to be held, and I needed to be scrubbed violently.
That's what I hear. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Do you agree Susie Searches sucked?
Yeah, Susie Searches, if you've seen Not Okay, just basically the same thing, only with less cringy dialogue.
Just frustrating
just
movie.
Frustrating. We need to start a petition to get rid of this fucking subgenre of doing dangerous shit for validation online. Let's just get rid of that because it's icky. It's icky.
Fair.
And we don't need it.
Fair.
Yeah. And like you're supposed to feel for the main character and you're not. Like she's evil.
No, I hate everyone.
Yeah. And Rachel Sennett didn't do anything.
Oh, well, then there's no point. Throw it out.
There's no point. Chuck it in the bin.
Chuck it in the bin.
Chuck it in the bin. The Friday, I woke up at 8:30 in the morning and I saw a movie called How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things about this.
And it blew me to the back of the theater.
Amazing.
It's a white knuckle thriller that had me on the edge of my seat. It's very lo-fi, very DIY, but it's fucking riveting and thrilling and surprising and just, I can't.
Amazing.
Like they're trying to blow up the pipeline at the same time as you're finding out how they all got together.
Yeah.
And just like they're putting bombs together and like you're basically like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like any wrong move, like they're fucking dead.
Jesus.
And it's fucking like edge of your seat. The score is incredible. The acting's amazing. And just James, I can't like Neon bought it. It's supposed to come out next year. It's probably going to be at Sundance. And it's like it's worth the trip to Utah to see this movie.
Just to see it. Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
I can't wait.
Like I said, it blew me to the back of the theater. I thought it was going to be good. I thought it was going to be good. It was fucking better than good. It was amazing. It's like top 5 for me.
So excited.
I'm so glad I went. So glad. And I followed that up with Hunt, which is the directorial debut of Emmy-winning actor Lee Jung-jae, who won for Squid Game. He's the lead in it, and he's acting against Jun Woo-sung, who was in Man of Reason.
Mm-hmm.
They both came out after, which was fun. Basically, it's in the 80s, and they both in South Korea, and somebody is selling secrets to the North.
Yep.
And they have to find out who's doing it. And they're both in different departments type thing. And just action is amazing, but it becomes the kind of movie where people get double crossed and then triple crossed and then quadruple crossed.
Oh my God.
And then people switch sides. And then I couldn't keep track of anything because I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore. So
crazy.
Amazing action, amazing action.
Yeah.
But not worth the trouble.
That's
and fair. I followed that up with My Policeman, which is the Harry Styles film that everybody was going bonkers for.
Yeah.
And he's fine in it. The movie is fine.
Sure.
And it didn't really do anything for me. Like, it's supposed to be they're older and the wife lives with the husband, and then like their friend comes to live with them and he's on his deathbed type thing. And you find out that the husband and the friend had a thing going in the 50s when people could get in trouble and jailed for being gay.
Yeah.
And she's reading these diaries and she looks super shocked, but she already knew that they had a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why are you shocked? Why do we keep cutting back to you being mortified reading this when you already knew this?
Yeah.
So they didn't do enough. They didn't do enough for anything. And it's just fine. And the young ladies that were there to see Harry were not prepared for him to get a beach from a man, because they kind of laughed. There was like this real like odd laughter type,
nervous,
like horrified.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was fine after that. But that initial beach, they were not prepared for.
Yeah.
Not prepared for. And I followed that up with Blueback, which was an Australian film that looked great because they were under the sea for most of it. But
cool.
there's a recurring bit where they have this relationship with this fish, and it's a puppet, and it looks fucking terrible.
Great.
Like, it just keeps popping up on screen, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we had 4 people using like puppeting it," and it looks awful. It looks comically bad.
Oh, great.
And it has a great message about like preservation of the coral reefs, but this fucking puppet keeps showing up.
Oh, so this is like ruining the message.
Yeah. So that was my Friday, and then we had Sick, which we watched digitally, which Tony
fucking unreal.
Tony liked it more than I did, but basically
good.
It's the pandemic. 2 girls go to a cabin to kind of like just hang out because you can't do anything else.
Sure.
COVID is the slasher.
Yeah. And then hilarity ensues.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shit gets real quick.
All right.
It's clever. It's written by Kevin Williamson, who did Scream.
Cool.
And I wanted to like it more, but I know you liked it a lot, Tony.
It was just so, because you know how I am with pandemic movies, man. Like if they're like too like into it, then like it's just hitting too close to home. They were like that, but I wasn't bothered by it because like it was Kevin Williamson. Like he was his satire writing of the pandemic was like it was fresh. Yeah. It was fresh. The only thing I didn't like about this movie was the twist at the end. The twist at the end kind of ruined it, but they bounced back at the end. It's vicious. It's what you would expect. Kevin Williamson knows how to do a slasher movie, and he's made a nice career of himself doing slasher. He is great.
I like the twist a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it was really clever. Now, before we get to the last 2 movies, I can see in your eyes, James, that you didn't realize how many movies we saw.
No,
this was half of what we did last year.
God, if we did this in like 2019 or something, fuck me, this would have been like a 6-episode series.
Absolutely,
like a serial.
Serial.
Today on Finger Guns, we tackle movies 10 through 15.
We literally just should have just done live on location every day, just like a postmortem every day.
Yeah. Oh, we know. We're learning. You know what?
We're learning. We're learning.
Next year, I'll be different.
Yeah.
It'll be different.
Next year, I'll be different. But before we get to the last 2, just wanted to do a special shout out because I saw a bunch of screeners before TIFF started. And the one that really knocked me out was a little film called I Like Movies.
Yes. Yeah. Something I'm very, very looking forward to. I was sold on the premise just reading the little plot description. So
yeah, it's a little Canadian film written and directed by Chandler Lebec, who's a critic. And now she's making a run of it as a filmmaker.
Cool.
And it's about a young, it takes place in Burlington in the early 2000s.
Amazing.
The first track is that song, Swollen Members with Mocha Only.
Mocha Only.
So, yeah. So that kind of, I was like, okay, I'm going to love this. And it's basically about a kid. He wants to go to NYU. He's a snooty film type. And he wants to go to NYU to be a filmmaker, and he needs the money. So he starts working at a mom and pop rental place, film rental place, and just like about his journey, and just kind of like his self-discovery. And it's funny. And I saw myself way too much of myself in this emotionally, in this emotionally devastating movie. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Just really, really well done. And, you know, I saw a bit of myself, and maybe I was a dick when I was in high school about my thoughts on cinema.
That's definitely fair. Where I will fully attest to that.
Yeah. Like there's an entire, like he's supposed to upsell the new Shrek DVD. Yeah. And he's like, I can't in good conscience talk about this movie. Like it's shit. And they're like, don't care. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing a sash that says like, ask me about my Shrek or something.
Amazing.
Poor guy.
But really well done. Really well done.
Last two,
baby. Last two.
Sorry, James.
That's fine.
Sorry, Jamesy.
It's fine.
First one, After Sun, which was a big hit at Cannes. And it stars Paul Mescal from Normal People.
Nice.
And it's about father and his young daughter. Takes place in the 90s, early 2000s, around there. And
Dave's taking too long to explain this movie. Essentially, it's about a woman who is remembering her last trip with her father.
Mm-hmm.
David is taking 40 words, and I summed it up for you in 5. There's nothing to this movie. It is a movie about memory. It is about this woman who's remembering this last road trip that she took with her dad, and all the memories that she had,
and what she remembers and what she kind of pieced together.
Exactly. Right. And like, it kind of like bounces. It bounces towards the end of like her as an adult and then her as a child.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And it's fragmented.
Sure. Yeah. It makes Under Pressure, the Queen and David Bowie song Under Pressure, very depressing. I cannot listen to this. I won't be able to listen to the song the same way again. It's emotionally devastating. The ending kind of hits you. It didn't really hit Dave, but it hit me only because I really like that fucking song.
Sure.
It was good. We didn't have an expectation. Me and Dave both have different opinions about it because it both hit us differently.
Yeah. Nice.
It's well done. It's well done. It's another one I want to rewatch. I want to rewatch type thing because the whole fragmented nature of the movie kind of threw me off.
Exactly, and it like does like this weird like flashing light dance scene at the end. That's very like the way it's edited. It's very jarring. So that's what probably threw Dave off.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely seek it out. And then we wrapped up TIFF 2022, the last movie with a film called Wendell and Wild, which was written by Jordan Peele and directed by is his name Henry Selick,
cool,
who did like Paranorman,
cool,
Coraline,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
He co-wrote this one too.
Oh, cool. Co-wrote it with the Jordan Peele. Dave, what is it about? I can't sum that one up in 5 words.
In 5 words, it's stop motion as you would expect.
Yep, makes sense.
And it's about a young girl who's an orphan, and she ends up getting marked and two demon brothers come up from hell and kind of...
She's marked by the demon. She has the demon marked on her thing.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so she summons them to the land of the living. They promise to bring back her dead parents, and
because they want to have they want to create a fair, their own fair in hell, basically.
Sure.
And hilarity ensues.
And then hilarity ensues.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really well done. Animation's great.
Sure.
Definitely put it in your Halloween rotation.
Ooh, okay.
If you liked paranormal, and it's very spooky.
Nice.
If you liked Paranorman,
I do.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Oh, that's stop motion bullshit.
Tell me how you really feel, Jesus,
buddy. Like it's fucking 12 o'clock. We gotta fucking let's give her.
I wanted to like this one a lot more. I
exactly.
think it had way too much going on and way too many characters and agendas. Right. And there's a trans character who's I don't know what they were trying to go with for that. And just
I didn't even notice that. So like it's a movie that should have with the powers of who is behind it, the movie should have been a little bit better. But again, like same vein as Paranorman, same vein as like Coraline. They'll say it's a kids movie. It's not a kids movie.
No.
At all. It's tackling some very adult themes. And yeah, it's the animation was great, and the visuals of what's on the screen were really, really well done.
Yeah, just mute it. You don't
mute it.
You don't need to mute it.
Just watch the visuals, man.
Like it's fun seeing Key and Peele back together, and like
like
knocks it out of the park.
Exactly. Yeah. The two of the Key and Peele characters and their banter towards each other is really good.
Nice.
But yeah.
So that's
how we closed it out.
That was it.
That was it.
Well done. Well done.
Tony, what were your top 5?
Top 5, starting. Do you want to go any order, or 1 to 5? Let's just
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Banshees of Inisherin.
Yep.
Triangle of Sadness.
Cool.
Fabelmans.
Nice.
Whale.
Nice.
And number 1, The Menu.
The Menu.
I thought you were going to say Gaza Weekend.
Gaza Weekend was in the top 10. I think it was around 7 or 8. If you need that information, thank you. Shout out to Gaza Weekend.
My top 5. 5 was Holy Spider, then How to Blow Up a Pipeline, The Whale, The Fabelmans, and like I said earlier, Women Talking.
Nice.
Number 1.
That's a good solid. Both of you have good solid top 5s. I'm excited to see all of those movies.
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good fall.
Yeah, 100%.
It'll be a great fall.
Busy fall. Thank Christ we've fucking seen all the bangers. So
yeah.
We don't have to spend that much. We don't have to spend that much time at the theater, which is
Avatar, baby. Avatar.
Yeah.
Avatar. So is this the part where you want me to talk about my new blues, or
you can go fuck yourself with your new blues tonight, Dave?
No blues.
Our longest episode as sponsor. And do we need to say thank you to our sponsor?
Oh,
Bvlgari?
naturally. Yeah, Bvlgari. Thank you so much for allowing us to go for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And we were going to add another movie. We were going to add another movie to this. Aren't you glad? Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't. And like Tony, I don't know if Tony said this already, but the short film with Anne Hathaway and Zendaya, that should have won people.
That should have won best. Yeah. That was
great.
That was
the one time I saw it.
Well, we saw it multiple times.
We saw it multiple times
yeah.
every fucking day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it should have won People's Choice because it was jingle
great.
Just gets in your head, man.
Sure.
Yeah. And the crowd starts clapping along. Sure. You're fucking in for the long haul.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that video, that short film, Paulo Sorrentino and Bvlgari. And thank you for sponsoring this episode.
And thank you, TIFF. Thank you.
Yes.
Always thanks, TIFF.
Thanks, TIFF, for another year.
Yeah. Another great year. The volunteers, the programmers, the filmmakers. Just
make a better schedule next time, though.
Yeah, maybe we don't fuck. Maybe we fix the schedule and
fix
the ticketing
schedule.
problems.
And the ticketing issues.
Yeah.
45 minutes of tears is not what I want on a Sunday afternoon.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And we could talk for another half hour, 45 minutes about all that, but we got to leave you wanting something. So with that was TIFF 2022. James looks like he wants to die because he didn't realize how many movies we saw.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. Who the fuck knows? But we'll be there.
We're going to be there.
We're always here every 2 weeks at a minimum.
We appreciate you listening.
Yes. Bigger Guns Nation.
And
you know what? Honestly, if someone makes it to this point, though, if you like drop us a comment on Instagram, I don't know. I want to give you something just for making it all the way through. You can timestamp this little bit here and just like tell me that I said this, and I'll figure out something to get you, because like, fuck, this is a marathon of an episode, and I'm very happy for everyone who sticks around through the entire thing to listen to us talk for 2.5 hours about movies, because they're near and dear to our hearts.
It's true. It's true. So with that, I'm Dave Bvlgari Baldwin, and I'm here with
the man they call Tony B
and
James Bvlgari Amatuzio.
I love it. I love it. And we'll be talking to you again very, very soon.
Yes.
Good night, everybody. James, get some fucking sleep.
On cinema. What?